Start it up. They're ready or not, doesn't matter at this point. We're behind schedule, and we're gonna go live. That's how we do it. I like Protopo though. It's like,
right.
okay, I dip now. Do it. Go. Punch it in. Let's do this. Game 1, Carbine Cookout. Every team must have Carbine on their team. Carbine kills are worth 3 points, not just 1. So we got it quite spicy here. Myself, MadMagical, joined in by the lovely Zik0rik. Zik, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, my friend. Super excited to be here. Super excited that I could make it. I had to shift things up a little bit, but I'm always love casting with you, bro. Any opportunity I get, it's just, it's magical.
I appreciate you, Zik. It's always good having you around as well. I feel like it's never a true Supervive cast without you by my side. Now we've got it locked in here, ready to
the warm
go.
fuzzies.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Just throwing,
Dude, I'm super excited. This hunter is lit, bro. He is very strong, especially in the right hand. Someone that can aim well, and every single team like being required to have one, and potentially a spicy final game.
Right. See, this is why
it's gonna be really good.
So last time when we did the Eva one, I had Eva kills be worth 3 because I'm like, okay, Eva, it's not as likely you're gonna get a lot of these kills. That was also when she was in a weaker state. But then I thought, you know, it would be funnier and more hype if we had it with a hunter who is meant to get a lot of those kills. So why not just keep the 3 points rolling into the next all hunter challenge and have it for this one in the Carbine Cookout?
Dude, I love that. And so it's going to be like, I wonder how much of like little micro strategy we're going to see of like, you know, your myth is chunking them out, but they leave the last hit for the carbine type stuff, you know?
So this was tech that was utilized by Lemur. Lemur did do something similar to this when it came to the evil one, where the team would get them low with myth, and then it would be Lemur to show up to get a lot of these kills. And I think by himself had something like 54 points.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because one game was like 17 knocks or something outrageous like that. It was insane just to see how many points they were able to get. But here we go. All 13 teams, and I don't see any lag. I don't see any lag. It's looking pretty good right now.
Hopefully the players are feeling the same as we are, but yeah, it is feeling pretty fine.
Nothing's looking off to me. And we have to see how these teams are going to play around what they had to draft. As we already see some early skirmishing between Cat
Carbine v Carbine, violence for kill 1. Let's go.
That's what you want to see. You want to see those early Carbine kills, and getting that is going to be nice, as we do see that the Ramus enjoyers are struggling. Mid Chicken on the run. I gotta say, newer players here, they did sign up through Reddit, but amazing names. Mid Chicken, Evil Lobster, Kind Captain.
Also, yeah, and I think they had an AFK at the beginning. Unfortunately, we basically had to start because we were already behind schedule. So I think they were down a member, lost another one. So it is just the last member left looking to live here over on the Celeste. Hopefully, they're able to make it out alive, and it looks like they are getting chased down by Cat here.
Run, Mid Chicken,
I do feel
run!
a little bad for them, but
I do too. But we had to get going. We couldn't wait any longer. Players were getting impatient. But got to give it to Mid Chicken, surviving for a long time on this run. But Lods hunting down Mid Chicken and taking the squad wipe for the team. That's another 3 points for Cat.
Yep, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry,
homies.
sorry, Ramus enjoyers. Like I said, we had to get going. We had to get into it quickly. We do apologize, but in the game 2, we'll make sure that we are setting everything up and we're waiting a little bit longer because now we're not nearly as pressured.
They need to have a better system for the ready check, because with like 13 teams, anytime anyone types anything, it auto scrolls you back down.
Yeah.
And I literally can't like scroll up to see who's ready because everyone's just hitting it. It's like,
yeah, it makes it impossible. So that's why it's just like, okay, we got to go live because we can't verify everyone if they're constantly yapping and talking. Speaking of yapping, we have Yap and PSA down in Cold Fang, fighting over a Sandwall Guardian. Pomu going early, trying to get some damage, but put in a bad spot as they try to answer back for Star Flash, but already losing their Carbine and couldn't get the pull from Star Flash to bring back the Wisp. That is going to be a kill confirmed for Yap.
Let's go, Yap. These are my boys, Blue Supervivors, Juice Flow and Big Sweets out in the field. I know Big Sweets been training hard on this Saros, and I kind of been out of the loop for the last couple of weeks, but Juiced started out as a cracked Shiv main, and I think that sort of play style leans really well into the Carbine. So really excited to see what those guys put together today.
Carbine to me feels like almost not quite an assassin, but not quite just a long-range damage dealer either. That good mid-range, right in the middle of both of them. And I've seen a lot of players who are either good with Myth or even, as you talked about, good with Shiv, be really good with Carbine because it kind of fits that niche right in between the two.
And like that, the idea of like, you know, shifting aggressively and connecting your autos like at a very high percentage, and that being like an essential part of the kit. They both have that, you know, kind of like very much in common. But I, you know, it's funny, in my video, in my guide I made, I was like, he feels right in between Bishop and Shiv, and those are juiced 2 mains, so I think he's going to end up being cracked at Carbine.
Protofo went aggressive there, was looking for the cart to land. Orbs of Argus to heal D&D back up to full as they disengage from DEI. Thought for a second that Protofo was going to land at this amazing Tonk. Got close, not quite. D&D survived the first engage as they are still kiting back. Their backs towards the storm and now split off. It's Goth Cowboy and Diamond go away from Hello, saying goodbye to Diamond as Diamond is taken down by DEI.
DEI looking pretty good there. My other boys, Crib and Immense. Let's go. Immense on Me Noob because he doesn't have Carbine unlocked on his main account. So Me Noob is Immense. He's just true to his name here.
As we look over.
Scrub. Nice in the 1v2. Jet ski on the way, though.
But it's going to be the revive, so no kill confirmed. Scrub close to getting that. No cigar. GCR chase away Scrub McLord from the Wisp. Make it so that he is going to crawl back.
Name, Scrub
yeah, it's a great one. And playing here for Nut, who had to sub in at the last moment. Zen got subbed in with Lord Vader playing for the team. And Lord Vader right now in the death screen. Krillo nowhere to be seen either for Nutty. Not exactly sure how the team got split up there, but not looking good to start off the game.
Yeah, and we saw a little Brawl v Brawl action. It looks like the teams are kind of collapsing. Scrub McLord, Lord Vader collapsing. Nice.
Hey, they got the revive.
Surprise onto Jetski, because I think Jetski thought he was still ISO'd there. So they're looking for the Wisdom. Scrub McLord's down, though. Battle's in. Oh, they trade.
Traded back, and now 2v1 madly. Trying to have the Carbine v Carbine duel. But Krillo wants none of it, a.k.a. the Mighty Tuna, as you see him running around. Trying to get away from the fight.
Tuna.
Yeah, I again, great names. Some of these names, and I wish that some of them were their actual names beforehand. But when I know the player from how their name was before, like Pine with Shrike Jordan, right there, the Mighty Tuna with Krillo. I know you too well. I have to call you by the name I'm used to.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Ooh, nice grab coming through for NBA.
Chinese Spy already taking down Flows. Yap. Gonna be pushed back. Big Sweet running away. And what?
I think that's a visual bug because it looked like he was right on the edge of it when it landed.
I was confused there. I'm like, how did he not get stunned? Out.
Yeah. That was a little wonky looking though, for sure.
But you might not remember them, but I remember them fondly. Main characters reformed as improving, joined with the team to sub in last minute. And they are looking to fight against Moonlit Battlegrounds early on. And they're taking away the shield with them in the storm. Chinese Spy is going to be difficult to get away, but that's going to be the third party of Cat showing up. While MC try to get back into the circle. They're blasted back, but they're going to survive. They're still on the tracks, but Cat aren't looking for them. They're looking for the easy prey of NBA. Looking for DJ Montague as the next one on the docket, the next one on the menu, chasing him into the storm, but now is the time to strike for MC. That Cat might have bit off a little bit more they can chew. Same with NBA as DJ Montague is down. Only one remaining for NBA.
Dude, I love seeing the return of main characters like you called out. That is like epic. And I was just watching Improving earlier, like working. He's been training on the Carbine.
Yes, he has.
So expecting to see some pretty spicy stuff out of him today as well.
Yeah, Improving, back long ago, I knew far more if I were playing a lot of Joule. But then as of late, like there was that a brief window of time where Improving stopped playing Supervive for a little bit, went over to Deadlock for a little bit, I believe it's the game he went over to. But now
well, he was because he was playing duos, and the duos queues were so long that he was playing Deadlock in the duo while he was in duos queues.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever actually stopped, honestly.
Well, I think he did take a little break because
he might have, yeah.
Because when he came back, it was Ghosts mostly, and then Carbine, as Carbine was released shortly after his return to Supervive, and he has been looking good on both of those hunters. Really strong player.
Here.
Big sweets split away, but they already got the slam down. Slug wave as well will eviscerate Flow. Yap now pushed down to one player. Juice tries to escape from the danger zone, but MC want to get rid of one more squad, and Juice is not looking too easy to get out of this one. Another slam from Dylan. While it might have missed, the pushback missed as well, and now Juice in the Carbine duel against Improving, getting some damage back. Has the triple shot, but both of them over the abyss, and the hunt down onto Juice. Might have gotten around, but guess what? TLD heard the beck and call as they try to join in as well, pushing Juice back into the storm, but he's over the abyss, surviving solo, but TLD say there's no escape route for you to go to. He's going for the long play through the storm in order to survive, which now puts MC and TLD possibly at odds.
Yo, onto the train. Well played, Juice. Somehow finds his way out of there. As TLD was looking to collapse. Let's go TLD in the tournament as well. That's hype. Look at this. 4 teams clashing up here.
Oh, not right now. Lord Vader in a bad spot. And guess what? Scrubbic Lord as well, as he's getting pushed back towards NBA. He decides to go for the duel, but it's going to be the split away from both squads. Cat and PSA. Losing one player on Cat. Not looking too good. Scrubbic Lord barely getting away from the hammer of SVI. Scrubbic Lord could go into town, but it is nighttime, and that is not a friendly zone to find yourself in.
Dude, it's actually such a close match. I was going to say still 12 squads left since the very first one we saw go out with an AFK. And so it's like that was our first squad out here pretty deep into the game, 10 minutes. It's going to be pretty crowded as we see, looking at the mini-map in this final circle. Kenneth hiding out in the bush here, Berserker mirroring him on the bush across the stump. Just kind of waiting it out, I think. Okay, Saucy Hack is up here for Cat as well on the bush play.
Well, we have a lot of teams with only one player. We look at NBA, Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, only the one player. Now, Kenneth, even though his team is not fully gone, he is split away, and they are looking to hunt down stragglers from Cat, while PSA did eliminate DEI at 11th place.
TLD getting a crown kill to go through there, so NBA out at 9th immediately after that. Looks like Jetski's looking on Phenom here, is going to kind of get forced off by that Carbine damage. So Carbine's gonna like really favor players with good aim, and Phenom, one of these players that's just really consistent with this. That's amazing.
I know what he was trying to do too. He was hoping to get him stuck in the wall, so that if he tried moving, he'd just take the damage for free from the spike wall. Good attempt there. Good attempt there, Scrubbic Lord, but not quite. And so Cat back on their feet. 9 lives to them, and they are going to spend a lot of the gold that they still have in their pockets.
Yep, so just a friendly gathering in Kobayashi's here. It looks like a couple more teams might join as we see Moonlit Battlegrounds to the south. You mentioned being down a member. Looks like they're back at full strength. Full legendary, actually looking real strong here. Masamune on Shrike Jordan's Carbine with the overdrive. And I was actually listening to Improving earlier, talking about the value of overdrive on Carbine and potentially the value of double vamp, and especially next patch. So, clash here.
And it is going to be MB. Chasing down and immediately taking out Hello and Goth Cowboy, putting Diamond in a bad spot right between 2 teams. Another team to join the bench as MC kite down south away from MB and TLD. Not wanting to engage just yet. Dylan missing that pull. So the rest of the team going to stay right behind him. And they're not going to want to move just yet.
Yeah, so just some posturing off. I think main characters is going to be hesitant to push this high ground TLD fire vision here. We got a couple teams kind of posturing off like this. We see as like that many teams come into final circle, right as we mentioned that, like 3 teams drop out, right? And it's just like the map starts to get too crowded in the BR setting for the amount of teams that exist. Like Conflict is never insane grab by Starflash on the dash there.
Oh, and really into the wall too! Did you see the dash back? Nice. Because there's already the walls that have been placed down by the shock trap drone, so there was no escape there for Scrub McLord, which means Lord Vader going to be the solo survivor for Nutty.
Yeah, well played. It looks like Movement Battlegrounds picking up Orshan here with XP Soul, continuing kind of scale this advantage they have for themselves. Movement Battlegrounds looking very scary from just kind of a, an equipment powered armor front. We take a look at TLD right next to him. Almost as scary, just a little bit behind on the armors and the equipment evolution, but still Masamune on Phenom's Carbine. So it's going to be a battle of these carbines, pretty much, which is Carbine Cookout, baby. Let's go.
Exactly. That's what you want in this kind of event. You want the carbines to be the ones that are leading the charge for all our teams. And right now for Nutty, they aren't reliant on Carbine. Instead, it's going to be Lord Vader to revive the team. They're all at 10, which is 10, 11, 9 for Nutty. And even Lord Vader there, I think, making the wise call of getting off of the core because he knew it was going to be too easy. Pull from Beck, pull from Dylan as well. But Lord Vader still playing this one very close to the edge and not wanting to get blasted back. That got close as well. So many people trying to kill Lord Vader, but he does bring back the team, avoiding every bit of CC.
That was looking sketchy. They saw him dash, and they both just look for it immediately when he dashes down. He was fine, wasn't even scared. So nice, gets the whole team back. Nutty right back in it, and couple teams still just kind of hanging out in Koba's. Koba's taking up a big part of the circle. We can see here, probably like a third. And so we have this Vane Grove Island, and we have this little kind of fragment up here. It's starting to get real crowded. Cat just kind of holding their ground here. PSA wants him though. Not gonna have really anywhere to go.
I think really it's gonna be on to the pulls from that Abyssal Grab and Star Flash.
SBI,
because a lot of the plays have been initiated by Star Flash in the past for PSA that have gotten them advantages, that have gotten them wins in a lot of these games. But I'm glad you kind of called it out. This is getting very crowded. We're saying how many teams still remain, and we are in the end game right now, Zik. There are 8 squads, and they all are formed until that moment. Finally, fighting breaks out on one side, then the pull to land from Dylan as they look for the Sinner's Embrace stun to push back Star Flash. No pull for PSA. Instead, with a nice overkill rounds, we'll chop down a kill and looking for one more pull. But guess what? Cat are now pushing back
here.
MC. All the teams are here. GSR was trying to get away, but they're getting chased down by SBI. And they are too low. Madly might have health, but he's been spiked down while another team tries to enter the fray. It's MC fighting against the crown from Pomu, not being able to take him, but landing the pull for Dylan with the slam back. Removes one more out of PSA. Then Cat try to slice back, but it's going to be difficult for them to get into position while Pomu just hover wings away.
Dude, that was insane. I was like 6 teams. We're just like looking at each other. I don't know. Did we lose anyone there? That was so hectic. It looks like did Madly survive that?
Madly did survive that. Madly was able to get away from that. So only I think one team got eliminated there, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, DCR is back at full force. Nice. That was spicy.
Just Nutty. That was the only team, and they were fighting against GCR. So games that are removing one more contender through that all, and now Pomu with a minute left on the crown, but too many teams surrounding the position. Eliminate one more squad, and MC kind of chasing down and making sure that Cat don't want to jump over that little gap.
Yeah, so our 7 squad out there, just 6 left, but still feeling very crowded in here. Everyone, like, we kind of moved away from Koba's, and it's all land, like almost no Abyss in play.
Right.
So it's going to be very much playing this high ground, playing this Fire Vision, looking like main characters in SBI kind of ahead of the game there. TLD, always one looking for that advantage, though, going over the top on Cat, looking to take this high ground for themselves.
Getting close to engaging, and I will say, kind of ironic, our first game for the Carbine Cookout, and we have glider engines, but nowhere to actually use it. Instead, it's all about fighting, really playing into the theme.
Look at everyone cooking out here, bro.
They are cooking up a hot gameplay so far, and now teams are getting battered, and Brood Lodge will be wearing a crown up north, and MC are kind of pushing them back into this cove here that normally would house a bot, but instead it's going to house them with a pull from Dylan, landing so many of these, but Kenneth spin dashing back towards Lodge, and even almost the Sinner's Embrace, but somehow that got canceled as well. Becking to split up Kenneth, not with Lodge, and Lodge is really low, and this isn't looking good. Another Becking to drag him back so they can get the kill for Phenom as he was able to execute that damage onto Lodge.
Man, Cat just got so pinched there. It's about to happen to TLD, but actually, it looks like main characters is turning north, wanting to guard their flank. TLD could have maybe gotten pinched in the same way, but now Moonlit Battlegrounds looking to pinch SBI. But look, GCR looking to pinch Moonlit Battlegrounds.
And I feel like MC could possibly do that to them as well and move down south, but instead they hold that position up north. Not wanting to play around, instead wanting to chase down some free kills, seeing SBI go right through the center of the circle and being easy targets. Dylan missing the pull, but it doesn't matter when they got him locked into the forge so they can execute a kill and then look for the game center. Overkill rounds, destroy madly with Skedaddle and Herd trying to get away, but it's not going to be an easy time for them to get out while TLD lose the fight to Moonlit Battlegrounds.
Man, this is just insane. Main characters is playing this so well, but off the back of that, it looks like Moonlit Battlegrounds able to take out TLD. We kind of missed the beginning, just saw the end of the fight there. But Moonlit Battlegrounds, like the item, the advantage XP sold, just looking so strong here, able to take out, you know, potentially one of the strongest squads. And main characters this game, though, Dylan on point with the grabs, improving, following up with that insane carbine damage, and TNN not letting him die with the Eva orbs. Like, they are just looking turbo.
This is what we've seen in the past. This was the team that would topple teams like the last door before. Now they're looking to chunk down Moonlit Battlegrounds. They could even get another pull, but Dylan's waiting his time out, guarding the crown, so that Height couldn't pick that up. Instead, he's going to be scattered away, not having the full team. Pine on the other side of two squads, while Sinner's Embrace might not connect. It's still main characters in the center of it all.
Yeah, main characters just playing tempo here, looking so dominant. Engage after engage. GCR looking to capitalize, though, as they engage on Moonlit.
Spike.
They are able to take out Pine. Just going to be Height left with the crown on Brall. 3 squads, though, Magical, so it's coming down to it here.
Two-way teleporter, avoiding the shock trap and blasting up into the air with the team leapfrog, but the team is only Height. While Game Center and main characters fully squatted up, they can do battle, they can fight with one another, but instead, they're looking to remove Moonlit Battlegrounds, overkill rounds, trying to get the damage with a slam down from the primal slam, then into the Sinner's Embrace, as both teams now locked at odds, trying to battle back the best they can, but no pulls from Dylan just yet, needs to heal up while the team gain control for the squad to move forward and push back onto Game Center.
Oh, Dylan. Oh, almost hits the blink slam, almost hits the grab. Not quite enough. So GCR live that engage. They want to try to make something happen with those cooldowns down. They are. Jet ski in.
Jet ski's in, getting damage, but the boombox has been placed to get them a little bit boogie in the fight while they try to survive. TNN avoiding, goes back to the ledge, even with the slam back. They put the bungee shot, so there was no escape for Jet ski. While Percussive Burst does a lot for Madly, he's by himself, improving, and main characters back squatted up, and they will take game 1.
Main characters looking dominant there. Let's go. Very well played through that whole kind of end game final circle. And that was just like the way that kind of ended, where it was just all on land, no real abyss to play around, and all the teams kind of playing for vision high ground. And we saw like a series of like 5 pinches happening where there's like a third party, then a fourth party, then a fifth party, then like the 6 squads right there. And then, but what main characters did, you know, I was like, you know, why aren't they pinching down on the top here onto TLD? They made the big brain move of going back around the top. They got the high ground with fire vision, then looped back around the right. Were able to capitalize basically on the other end of that circle that was happening, and able to clean up. I think it was SVI over there who was getting chased by someone else. And then they just rolled that momentum through that whole bottom side of the map, took center position, and just closed it out. Really well played.
Looking really good. Like, I want to make it easier, so I'm going to run the ad right now. There we go. What's going on? It's the Carbine Cookout today, OC15. We have the tournament where everyone must play Carbine. We are all playing it, and now we are into game 2 after main characters freshly reformed just for the Carbine Cookout. We're able to take game 1. Oh, like the EVA one. Yep, exactly. Exactly like the EVA one. But here we are.
Dude, and the main characters comp that game, bro, looking very strong. Dylan on the Kingpin, TNN on the Eva, and improving on that Carbine. So basically just playing full support. Like, you have a heal support, you have an engage support to set up the Carbine for kills, and just put improving in a place to power farm. I saw Phenom say in the chat, 9 knocks with the W on improving that last game.
There are 3 teams that just dropped at Ion and 3 teams that dropped at Imotech. No, 4 teams dropped Imotech. We are about to have quite the bloodbath out the gates, as already Nutty can chase down Pine, trying to get rid of Krillo, but it's going to be the turnaround instead for Krillo. Those points now built up by Nutty, and to answer OC15's question, the points do count for more. To really add some flavor of life to the tournament, they are still worth 3 points compared to the 1 for other hunters.
Oh, gee. I was like, these level 1 fights are so sketch sometimes. Both these boys level 1, but High able to get the spike there, gets himself level 3. Spadestorms, I think, was going to be able to get out. Oh, TLB finds the early level and pushes onto the side to Nutty here.
They're trying to get rid of Nut as Lord Vader does escape, barely with his life, but it is going to be the gold armor that TLD will collect. They loot the vault, and they are going to be the stronger team because of it.
Dude, this is a scary team, too. Abador on the Myth, Phenom on the Carbine with Lemur on the Eva, keeping everyone alive and playing that, like, kind of macro support angle. That is going to be someone to watch out for. And I've just always loved watching TLD. They're just, like, so dialed with their kind of, like, macro strategy, their pacing. Their tempo is just always sort of slightly ahead of everyone else. I think a lot of that is, you know, due to their experience. Like, all of these guys' experience, Abador, Lemur, and Phenom, been playtesting a significant amount of time. And now, at this point, right, Magical, we've been watching them play together, you know, even though it was more in a squads format for a significant amount of time. So,
you know, it's kind of funny because I am doing research for some content that I'm cooking up that I'm trying to build out to hype up the full release and go through the history of tournaments that we've already had for Supervive.
Oh, that's so awesome.
One of the things that was big was The Last Door, once called The Last Dance back in the day, but it was Phenom and Abador who've been playing together for a long time. Same with Lemur, who I believe has been playing. These 3 have been playing on the same squad since the alpha days, since the closed alpha back in July, when we had one of our very first show matches, and that led to the prologue, the first ever Supervive tournament that was hosted by Relic and the Lord GG.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's just cool to see that, like, team synergy, like, build out over time. And, like, especially, you know, when they were kind of like, for a very long time, they were just the dominant NA squad, like, team in squads. It was just no question. It was like, who's the best team? It's like, you know, TLD, and if there was a close second, it was Gap, right?
Yep. And it's actually just crazy to kind of see the history of that. But we look at one of our new teams here, the Rammus Enjoyers, fighting against Gap, the pull back onto the Wisp to try to revive Big Sweet. But Juiced Flow have to go in separate directions and see which one they want to chase down. Rel debating it, but instead they'll go for the clean loot and then make sure that they are staying in control here, not wanting to overstep their grounds and get caught out in Wraith's Row.
Yeah, a nice little split here from Yap, kind of just like waiting it out to see what their angle is going to be. It looks like Rel is going to make their way over to the fire, kind of chase the Kingpin. Multiple teams up here, though. We've seen Moonlit Battlegrounds kind of on a split farm since that little bit of sketchy start in Imotech they were forced out of. Main characters, though, on the level 6, looking at DEI, wanting to continue to lock in this lead here.
Crib is going to be the target, improving, wants that kill, the Carbine in their sights, and that's why they're playing so aggressively, looking to chase him down and improving the one to hunt this down. But guess what? The Last Door were on the other side, ready to collapse onto Crib. They take away the kill, denying it from improving. While Rel still fighting a new team this time around, SVI, the Supervive Illuminati, and Rammus Enjoyers. They've been fighting one another, but guess what? Yap are back. They got the pull on the Monster, and they want to stop the Wisp as they steal away the kill. And now they are the team that can hunt down the squad. Look for Rel, Mid Chicken, and Kind Captain, the last ones remaining. And with the chilling finale, burn from Felix, getting a lot of damage, but it's Mid Chicken skating away to try to survive, while Yap are pushing back onto Kind Captain to remove the captain of Rel and make it only Mid Chicken that can survive. But the spike! No way! Flame shield! Kind Captain! No fucking way! He's got the 1v3, baby! Yap will be eliminated as Flow goes into the storm, but they've got the damage, and Kind Captain right behind them. Flow now it has to pull off the same kind of miracle play that Kind Captain did for the Rammus Enjoyers, but Flow cannot escape because Mid Chicken and Kind Captain eliminate another squad.
That's crazy, bro. These boys are good players. So I haven't even seen these Rel guys. They just come out of nowhere, take 2 fights on the back foot there in the 2v3, and Firefox just annihilates on that ledge. Just so many, like, so much damage, so much pressure come through with the shield there. But we come up here back to Imatech where it all started, and Nut and MC are in it. Improving last one left are winners of last game.
And no armor either, but with Krilla behind, an early elimination for the main characters. Not what they want to see after winning game 1. And Krillo being the one to get the kill, that's another 3 points that Nutty can add to their score.
That was a big fight for Nutty. We kind of caught the back end of it, but GG's like taken out, that's going to really put a dent in the sort of score momentum that main characters are looking to put together over the course of these games. So out at, I think, 11th there. Yeah. And that's like, I forget, what's the... bottom of the placement points? Is it
so 10? 11, 12, and 13th will get no points. There's no points for
so
all
10th is like
of
the first one to score. Okay, yeah. Yes. So unfortunately out with only just kill points. I think they got at least a couple through early.
Yes, they did.
But Rel continuing to duke it out over here back against SVI.
They lost Kind Captain and they've lost Evil Lobster. What snipes there landing for SVI? Ramus Enjoyers, they might have had a heroic play earlier from Kind Captain. That time around,
yeah, Kind Captain was nice.
It was well done, but it was only so much you can do. And right there, SVI, they had been controlling the bog. They chased down a team that was playing into their home. They're going to be feeling really good about that because they were able to get some kills with the overkill rounds 2 out of Carbine. Well, we see Cat and DEI, Abyssal Breaker, but a little bit late on the emergency platform. And the pull landing onto Oath, but Kenneth and Lods, they're right behind him. A dunk from Protofo, but now you're getting chased down by more than just one squad. It's PSA to join in overkill rounds to eliminate DEI.
Nice try there by DEI. Protofo does get the mid-air, no mantle, double shift dunk through on the Kingpin. Really well played there to turn it into a 2v1 from the 3v1, but gets pinched, not quite able to do that. It's just insane up here, though. TLD getting pinched by Nut.
And they're forced to TP without Lemur. Eva left out to try, and guess what? They TP'd over to the game center, who actually were able to take down Abador, leaving only Phenom. Well, back where they had once stood, it's the fight between Nutty and Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, as they wanted to spike one more kill, but Lord Vader hunting down against Chinese Spy. Both of them so close to the abyss, but neither of them will fall. Instead, it's going to be the fight back at the Glider Soul, while Chinese Spy pulling back DJ Montague, trying to revive the Eva, but again, he's pushed off of the ledge and over towards the boat, looking for the slam, barely not connecting it, but he was able to blink away to survive yet another fight.
Dude, Chinese Spy playing that kind of insane right there to live that situation, goes for the Whisperez and somehow does not get punished for it, just off of the mechanics there. Nut, though, really nice fight, taking dominant position, but it looks like NBA's not done. They got Crown. It's still the 2v2 match.
Game over, getting that down a whole minute and then reviving the team because Vader was killed, leaving only Scrub McLord for Nutty, as NBA are hunting down this last member of Nut, forcing him far away from where the death boxes are. Not going to have that as a possibility. Instead, has to look for any miracle revive they can find elsewhere.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Like that whole sequence of events coming down to, there's just like so much action. TLD making their way up on the right side, but we got continued violence over this fight. And in that situation, Magical, it looked like Nutty kind of thought they won the fight right here. You saw they kind of like let up, and NBA was still north and south, recovered and like kind of pinched them. Really well played, gets the crown proc from Game Over on the Carbine. Just like really well executed there.
And that's the problem. They played into the hands of the one wearing the crown, and now they sit upon the throne and Glider Soul potentially theirs. While we look back to Nutty, now finding themselves the poppers in this fight, trying to get away. There's only Krillo up in the north, leaving Lord Vader alone in the south, and even with the Fusillade, it was going to do nothing but maybe take down Pine to Wisps. There was no kill guaranteed.
So we leave Moonlit Battlegrounds to take a look at Moonlit Battlegrounds on the other side of the map. And this side of them are doing work as well. Height, Shrike, and Spadestorm's looking like a pretty strong position here. Coming back to the Academy squad, like this is like their game to win. Look at this, Blinkstone, double Abyss Specialist.
Yeah.
We got a quick Trailblazer on Game Over. So I love this. Quick Trailblazer with Swiftblade on the Carbine. Really cool look there.
And I think even them having things like Air Blast for their Eva, so if You lose your healer in a bad fight, can easily disengage themselves. Plus, as you called out, the double Abyss Specialist, one of them being on that Eva. NBA looking like they're in a great spot in this game while we look at other teams. You saw earlier that TLD barely escaped with the TP play. Now, Cat are struggling to get away from Moonlit Battlegrounds, who are chasing them down. Saucy Hack can't see Kenneth anywhere on the map, far away from the rest of the team, but the entire time the Academy squad has been slowly rotating down south, while Scrub McLord was right below Saucy Hack. SVI might chase either or. They're not sure which one they'd rather go for. Seems like they are going to peel up north for a moment, but then ultimately decide to go south.
Yeah, and we saw Kenneth kind of playing that split out there, like not wanting to be, you know, kind of being able to play out if they did get engaged on. And PSA looking to take this island away from TLD. We saw earlier TLD throw down this fire, repair up here. PSA wants it. TLD not going to give it up that easy, though.
No. They've got themselves in a decent spot, and they avoid the initial engage, but they are low. Wow. They have no armor either, and it's easy pickings for PSI. While Phenom barely grabs onto the ledge, Abadar could not do the same because that was an emergency platform that saved the life of PSA. Now they've gotten the revive. TLD got eliminated by Krillo on the other side. While PSA are now getting pinched by Game Center. Affio is going to be the next casualty and easily slammed down to execute both of the Wisps with Palmu. Seeing his emergency platform, it saved the team earlier, but will not do so this time. GCR taking another squad out of the game.
Such a good fight by them against TLD, but GCR hear the action, make their way over, find them with no cooldowns, Magical, just so easy, crush them into the abyss, finish them off there. So getting really punished for that aggression. And I think, yeah, TLD was knocked out as well. So we're down to 6 here as Moonlit Battlegrounds continuing to dominate here off of that early aggression we saw around Soul. And they did get the Soul, so...
Oh, wait a minute. Here. I am a little worried. It's the Shock Trap drone looking for the Suns. Carbine's gone, and then Myth 2. Both kills for game over. Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy definitely scaling up in this game, and I would imagine their points are getting absolutely insane.
Yeah. And we're about to see, like, sometime in this action, the clash between Moonlit Battlegrounds guys. We see Cat on the deep Abyss fire play out here, working the crown angle. Two-way teleporter from Kenneth brings him even deeper out here. Let's go. Playing superior circle position.
They're daring any team to try to chase them down. They know they have the crown. Everyone knows it's there. But now, do you want to go over that entire Abyss to try to get them? No way. Instead, it will leave Cat safe on their island, allowing the other 4 squads to do battle. And NBA staring down Game Center. Gold's on their side for Skedaddle. Going to be difficult to actually break through the resistances that GCR have. They need assistance, and guess what? They're calling up the main squad to help pinch GCR.
That's funny. I don't think there's guy. I think these guys are plenty to happy to fight each other. Hopefully, no teaming going on here. But GCR, like Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, is on this tempo here. They have been super aggressive all game. GCR kind of feels it, backing off, and I think they sense the pinch from Moonlit Battlegrounds. We see Shrine or Pine throwing out the high against game over there. But this is going to be a spicy final between just these 3 squads over here, Magical, as we see the other 2 on the full display. So.
We have 3 squads here. Nutty are also playing over the Abyss. I was like, where's our 5th? Who are we waiting for? And we look all the way over there. And where do they TP? I wonder where they're going to TP next for Cat. Like, are they slowly pushing themselves into the circle by Final Destination? Or
this Final Destination, it's crazy, actually.
I know.
We didn't take a look at it earlier, but that was a crazy spot.
We have had some wild ones as of late, and speaking of wild ones, we see the Thunderdome built up here. Chonker Cannons helping out GCR control the inner parts, but with the circle slowly pushing both Moonlit Battlegrounds and Academy squads through that middle zone. It is going to be the fight onto Madly. Madly trying to get away, but the slice down from height will take him out first, and then look to see if they can answer back as well. But with Jetski healing up, almost finding the spikes, Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy and Moonlit Battlegrounds will now stare one another down, going over their best, looking for the slam, not getting it onto height, barely missing that. While Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, they'll grab back onto land to survive.
I'm like, I thought Height was going to get a double dunk there. I wonder if there was some kind of air soul interaction, because it looked like he was over the top of 2, and if he would have just right-clicked, it would have been gone.
Oh, and guess what? GCR we didn't even see because it was that TP pushing themselves inside of the circle to take down GCR, only to jet ski. As he might be able to glide for a while, has some rings to back him up too, but eventually things are going to break through, and Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy got eliminated with the help of GCR. They just wanted to play for some placements while they try to avoid. Eventually, jet ski gets taken down by Height.
Pine hits him with the buy on the way out. As Academy's out, that was a really good game for NBA, though. They were pumping. Lots of kills coming through, finishing, I think, at 4th there. So in the end of that, I think it was... I can't see because it's bugged, but I think Moonlit Battlegrounds came away at the Air Soul.
I believe it is Moonlit Battlegrounds who have the Air Soul because they got the kills onto...
Unless, like, no one's, like, box looted it. Is that a thing?
No, I don't think that's a thing. I think it's automatically. So it could just be an error we're seeing on our side. Yeah. I'm like that. You're going back into like the closed alphas.
Dude, I have just way too much Supervive in my brain, new and old. It's all mixed together, bro. It's not just like I lose track sometimes.
All right, here's another.
I think earlier I called Felix Firefox, which I haven't done in a hot minute. And,
I know you're so used to all the old names. So nice TP there. Nutty are just collecting things right now. They've got themselves an emergency platform. They've got a base. They just TP'd the respawn beacon to themselves, and they are staying over here past one of these little spikes. These crystals that kind of give them a little bit extra, where teams now have the path around it, while they just stay right inside the circle. Is going to be Cat and Moonlit Battlegrounds that might have to fight one another, but another TP out of Cat, as they should be able to drag back the circle even further into the zone.
Yeah, I honestly love the way Cat has been playing this. They've been playing superior big brain abyss angle off the back of this Kenneth teleporter since like very early on. Like we saw them deep out there with the crowd and continuing to just, it was a really nice, teleport in, engage onto GCR to push them off of this island. They end up, kind of losing this island to Moonlit Battlegrounds here, but playing this fire angle well. Moonlit Battlegrounds putting out big damage here, just like chunking. It's so rough.
Magical. Look at that. Saucy Heck's gone. They now dive over the abyss to look for the kills on a Cat. They only got one, but that is great for them already. Well, the TP did nothing. It was canceled. An Abyssal Breaker trying to split away for Cat, but they see the crown that is being guarded by Moonlit Battlegrounds. They cannot push into the territory that is dominated by MB at the moment. While they put down the TPs, they will TP down south, but it's out of the storm. They took too much damage, and now Nutty, they can collect on the bounties for Krillo.
Wow, so after all that, Cat just stuck in like the worst spot, like getting so much pressure from Moonlit here on this fire, literally nowhere to go. They had the double Abyss Specialist, so they were living for a long time, but I think like not quite anticipating that last storm shift puts them right in the big storm damage there and getting, really having nowhere to go after you lose your fire.
And here's the play. Height diving into the base, taking out Nutty, who used an emergency platform, almost get the dunk onto Pine, but he's able to skate away. Not attacked just yet. And Lord Vader going to be the only casualty at the moment for Nutty, but they are low on health and resources. They lost what had been their own made islands to Moonlit Battlegrounds, and Pine continues to hunt down these kills, sniping one more on a scrub, and with only Krillo left, they are watching. They're letting the duel happen so they can gain those points.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like Carbine feeding we were talking about earlier, like let him just soak those skill points at the end. Love to see it. Moonlit Battlegrounds, strong finish there, really looking dominant, especially in that final 3, putting so much pressure up onto Cat here, and then finding a nice kind of look on the side of Nut. Nut did have a really good game though. We saw a couple fights where they were just like crushing into people, and so I think really well fought, especially by all 3 last squads. Shout out to Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, who went out at 4th, but was actually on a tear. We saw him like 3, 4, 5 fights that game, just going off. So GG's everyone. Like, dude, these games are great, man. I think having Carbine on every team is just like, there's so much damage going out that it's just like.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. That's why I like doing these tournaments. In fact, just kind of a spoiler for what's to come in the future. In June, I am going to do a Crysta one, because we did skip Crysta when it came to these hunter-specific tournaments. So we've done Beebo. We even had Elluna in one of them, then Eva, and now here with Carbine. So I kind of want to go back and start getting other hunters that we might have missed, such as Saros. I want to get one for Crysta that I was saying for June. And we could even go for some fun ones, like have a Void tournament. I think would be a really fun one, forcing everyone to play Void and see how well they can do with it.
Yeah, that's gonna be hype, bro. And real quick,
it's gonna be
next storm shift, so I don't miss it here. Bombing run, thank you.
Bombing run. And so if the teams don't say anything, I think we start in a minute. Yeah, we get this rocking and rolling, and see how these teams will stack up against one another, because we've already gotten 2 games done. Moonlit Battlegrounds taking that second one, and then main characters, while they took game 1, they fell early in game 2. A little bit devastating for them. And I gotta imagine they're gonna come back into this one and be thirsty for a lot of those kills. Want to really start stacking up the points for improving.
Yeah, totally. That was like a rough, it's always rough when you have such a strong game 1 and then game 2 kind of drops because something happens, and all that sort of tempo you had from game 1, you lose a little bit, but definitely certainly not out. Like that game 1 put them in a really strong spot to still finish, number 1 in the tournament despite dropping game 2. So I think it's still looking very good for main characters out here. So I think we're gonna go ahead and ship it. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it. Let's get into game 3. Bombing run for our squads. And Carbine will be seen on every team. I like Thank You Chef's idea. Have a one hunter tournament where a team, instead of selecting hunters for themselves, they only get to choose one hunter, and each one of their players has to play that same hunter. It doesn't mean all the teams have to play that hunter, so you can have a team of nothing but Hudsons, a team of nothing but Voids, a team of nothing but Ellunas, and then see how you do with those.
Sounds hype. Let's go. Thank you, Chef, cooking on the tournament formats. We saw Thank you, Chef's arena tournament last weekend. That ended up being super epic. Yes, so shout out Thank you, Chef, for running that. Okay. That was really cool.
I have another idea to add into this one that Thank you, Chef just put down. Not only do you have that, but what you then do is you have a draft with those hunters. So game 1, anyone can play whoever they want. But game 2, it's a draft format based off how you did in that previous game. So whatever team went last chooses first. And then no team can choose that hunter. So then you go through all 12 teams, and each of them will have a team of nothing but that hunter, but they're all different.
I like it, dude. I want to see all these. All this sounds super hype to me. I'm in. I don't think I'm not really a tournament cooker myself, but I love hearing what you guys are thinking about.
Well, next week, the 17th, is going to be my birthday stream, so we'll have a lot of fun for that one.
That is going to be lit.
That one's going to be a fun one because it takes the premise that we kind of have here and builds upon it even further, where we will have hunters that are banned based off a wheel that we will spin and ban one hunter that nobody can play, then spin a wheel on one hunter everyone has to play. So it will really change up things with that as well. So
that's cool.
And then there is an additional rule that I doubt we'll see, but if both wheels hit the same hunter, now everyone has to play that one hunter.
Dude, that sounds like some MadMagical madness. I love it.
Hey, it's my birthday. I'm allowed to do that, right? So players,
100%. It's Magical's way on his birthday. Let's go.
I will say, players, if you want to sign up for that, let me know. I will post the Google form in the chat, or message you on Discord if you want to be able to join into that. But here we are, game 3, and Academies, the drop for TLD. Could have been contested for a moment, but seems that they will get that all alone. D&D, they decided to bail out of school. They dropped out a bit early, not having the best of grades in that one, instead just playing D&D all day.
Yeah, GCR as well, just hanging out in gridlock, being bad boys, and that was a nice drop from TLD. They kind of find the 2 center camps, and there's a fight happening north, and it looks like 2 teams duking it out in the desert down here. We see Cat finding a kill, DEI finding a kill as well. I think that's the fight happening up here as we see that one kind of calm down. Spade storms down as we make our way up here.
Yeah, we're kind of
I didn't mean to do that.
Jumping all over, but I think the big thing is I saw.
I got pulled twice there.
Yeah,
sorry,
it did. It's sometimes the spectator likes to do that, but kind of seeing what happened there. For Ramus enjoyers, they were caught out in the desert. They had that fight against Cap, but they ended up losing. Oh my goodness! Someone just gifted 10 subs. What a legend! Whoa. Paranoid Droid with 10 gifted subs. You are absolutely legendary. I appreciate every one of those. Thank you so much. What a legend there.
Huge.
But right now we get to see as NBA are chasing and looking to see if they can get the game center. They do get the spike, picking up a kill for themselves, getting other teams out of their machine.
Yeah, so NBA taking control over machine here, and they've been looking pretty strong, man. I really like the kind of comp they have together too. And this is, you know, main characters, what they were running game 1 too. So pretty much same thing over here on NBA. The Kingpin, the Eva, and the Carbine. Basically, you know, the idea to me is set up, you know, give the Carbine everything he needs to succeed. We give him slams and hooks from the Kingpin for free damage, free kills. We give him infinite healing from the Eva, let him play around the orbs and skirmish like he likes to do, and just let him farm. And both teams, I think, doing that exceptionally well, main characters and NBA.
Man, I'm just blown away, though, by the 10 gifted subs, Paranoid Droid. That's really kind of you. I appreciate that. Helps out with the stream a lot. So that we can provide more of these tournaments for everyone. Like I said, I'm going to be doing one next week. So here, let me post that one in the chat.
Yeah, that directly supports Supervive, bro.
It does.
You're helping carry. We love you.
Yeah, it really does, because it helps me do these more often, because sadly a lot of these are funded myself. Just trying to do them as many times as possible, while I can't always pack the community when it comes to prize pools. Maybe one day I'll be able to, but here's the form if you guys want to sign up for that tournament for my birthday, which will be next Saturday. That one will be a little bit earlier, and we'll play as many games as anyone wants to. There'll be a little bit more involved. Well, we do see this fight up here. Goth Cowboy and Crib staring one another down. It is the tree that was attempted by Goth Cowboy, but DEI stopping them wisps, taking down more kills and getting themselves higher on that point board. But unfortunately, I don't think a lot of those kills went to Crib. Most of them were for Noob on that one, and getting it a little bit split away.
Yeah, he was kind of going off on that Shrike, though. Nice fight by DEI there. And sometimes you just, you know, you got to take the kills to come, even if they don't go to the Carbine, because it's still point, still value. So I think, you know, putting work in on the Shrike, we saw level 8 kind of ahead of tempo there, as DLD looked like they find an angle on the NBA.
It might have been the angle that they needed to, because they got Chinese Spy. I thought they were in a bad spot at first, because look how
they
low.
were taking a lot of damage.
Exactly. That's why I got a little bit scared for them for a moment. But DLD, great team, playing with advantages and also separating, so they're splitting the damage perfectly. Nobody's taken down while we look all the way over to Protofo, trying to get the dunk on to Goth Cowboy. The hunt is there, and guess what? Carbine was the one to pick up the final kill.
Yeah, so D&D taken out first there. We saw DEI win that fight against them earlier, and the Bishop trying to get out, not quite going to be able to make it happen there. They are out of 12th. Game over.
Oh,
trying to fight.
Oh, nicely done. At least he was able to get the spike. So that's 3 points that he picks up, but then it was 3 points the other way around for TLD. So good for a bit for Moonlight Battlegrounds Academy, and we look over towards one of our other teams here. Rel, aka Ramus Enjoyers. I love the names that they have for this team, and this is one of those teams that did sign up through, like I said before, through Reddit. So they asked me if they could sign up if there was a cap on experience, on ranks or anything, and I told in my tournament, the 4 fun ones, no. Anyone can play.
They did good.
Yeah,
Last game they were doing good, bro. They had 2 really good fights we saw.
Exactly, and that's why I like to have players come in, you know, really celebrate the whole community. Well, Nutty trying to play that play on Apalmu, but a great bounce back from Aphios while they let loose the bow. Getting it Krillo low, and then Scrub McLord is the one they want to tag next. He doesn't have Volcanic Rebuke, a little bit easier, but he still has a lot of distance that he can make up to escape from the battle. Then hitting level 7. Not nearly as easy now for them to get the slams, but we see all the way down south, Krillo peels away, might go for the respawn beacon, but it's over to the territory controlled by TLD.
Yeah, and we see a couple clashes happening here on the Northwest. Cat looking like they got caught by Rel. Speaking of Rel,
nice.
Kenneth going down there. Lods.
Nice.
Oh, Lods comes in and finishes mid-chicken with an insta-dash combo. So now it's a 2v2.
2v2, put down the shock traps, trying to get away. That's the flame shield burning down damage, but not enough to heal back and survive against Lodge, who takes down the Fox, then looks for Lobster. He's boiling them alive out in the desert as Lodge cleans up another kill.
That was so spicy. That was such a close fight. That last shot looked like it went so close to the ghost there, but in the end, Cat able to get the better of him, get the res. Well fought by Rel, like we were just talking about. It's just literal inches there between that fight going the other way if Carbine gets that kill. So even though they do get taken out at 12th here, good luck for them again.
Also, I didn't say shout out to PJs for Shorts for the follow as well. Really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with the community. It's always good having everyone here for Supervive. And going back to that point you were making, I feel bad for Rel because they already had struggled earlier against Cat, where they had to go and they separated. I think it was only Kind Captain that survived. No, was it Kind Captain or was it Mid Chicken? One of them survived, was able to get away, healed the team back up with the respawn beacons, but they were so low on armor that they just really didn't have a fight that they can hold up and kind of throw back at a pursuing team such as PSA. Was it PSA? No, it wasn't PSA. Yeah. It was who was it?
I'm sorry, dude. I was just like following the observer. I was gonna say Cat moving their way up here. It looks like they kind of get caught by PSA, but we see another fight happening up here as Nutty finds the res and they get a flank on the Yap. Yap forced out. It looks like last one left, Juiced here trying to live on the Carbine, but TLD
Nutty
chasing down Nutty at the same time.
And that's what I was about to say. I'm like, Nutty, you can't overcommit looking for the team wipe because TLD were chasing you at the same time. There's always a bigger fish, and right there, I think they realized that they were the ones getting chased, and it would have been devastating for them to die while hunting down only one kill. And then back over at the Heart, Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, and main characters kind of staring one another down. Main characters are split away from one another. I'm not sure how they got so separated, but looking at where everyone else was, Improving's down, so their Carbine, those extra points they can gain, not on the board, while fight up in the north at the Heart between Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy and DEI over this Volt control, and same with the Soul. But here's TLD to bounce back and try to get the kills. Overkill round sent out as they want to get rid of Carbine, getting game over. Then DEI separate and they bail. Then wanting no part of this one, allowing the Soul to be stolen away by TLD.
Nice. TLD, really nice opportunity there. Find the third party angle, get a couple kills.
The
blast! With the shift!
No!
Stay into the Heart! Oh!
Poor MBA right there. The blast. What a play to clean up the kill. Lucky for them.
Phenomenal. Eggs, let's go, baby. That was crazy.
Lucky for them, DEI got eliminated just seconds before they did, so they will get a point for that one for placement. But man, gotta give so much credit over to Phenom, as you're talking about, with that percussive burst that threw in game over into the Heart. Picks him up those kills.
Right after Lemur snipes the damage soul too from him, right? It's getting everything in that little run there. TLD just having a really clean minute of gameplay right there, getting such a strong advantage themselves. Look at these double pinks on Abador and Phenom. Lemur, dude, I didn't even notice Lemur's on the Brawl. So just abandons the Eva angle. They say, screw this. Phenom can get his own kills. He doesn't need a Kingpin. He doesn't need support. We're just going to go full blast. Lemur on the Brawl, Abador on the Myth. I actually love this look from TLD.
Zik, you want to know the other reason why I put the points as 3 for Carbine? The other reason was because I knew it would bait certain teams into trying to funnel kills only for Carbine and then put themselves at a disadvantage. It was this idea of making teams think that's the play they should go for, but oftentimes they should just go for the points, just go for the kills. If you're able to gift over free kills to Carbine, you can, but you cannot only play for that as the possibility. And it seems that TLD have learned that lesson, trading it
They're
out.
seeing through the matrix here. They've been unplugged.
Yep. Honestly, the video from Lemur gave me that idea of doing this in the first place and why I wanted to put it for Carbine, because now teams feel so baited into it, and we see a fight as they are baiting in the fight. TNN throwing down the Sinner's Embrace, locking down Juice, but he was able to get back with the rest of Yap. While main characters send out Improving. Overkill rounds landing. Juice is low. Where's the drone? They need to put down the walls and allow them to escape. But it is getting to that point with a beckon to drag back in Flow. It's Big Sweets that is targeted by Improving instead. While Dylan got the free kill onto Flow.
Yeah, I think a good look from Flow there to buy the rest of Yap some space. He basically commits in to stall out MC, and he is pretty successful here. Improving still looking to push, but they are going to recall. So Yap able to escape there. So well played by Flow for everyone to live here. And they're just going to be, but they're going to be on right. SVI on the right, down to 2 members as well. Monster down, but TLD hunting. Look, Phenom with armor now. Armor Shredder.
Yeah, that is scary. I think this is that play where now they can start funneling said kills into Carbine, because he will destroy the opposition. Even if you have both a Myth and Brawl, this Carbine is going to be doing the real work of damage.
That's like, I mean, look at this. Double pink, armor shredder, damage soul, like vamp rune, or I mean, like it has a little touch on heal just in case. Like, I really like. Wait, what's he running here? He's running Big Game Hunter Swiftblade.
Yeah. So has a bit of ways to survive, plus that scaling damage into the game. Guess what? We are late into this game as well. They have a damage soul on top of it. They would like to get that Shrapnel Soul away from SVI, but SVI are still alive. And we see on the other side the Yap fighting against main characters, finally bringing back in the team. But it is a trade, I believe, a 1-for-1. Well, There's the revive onto Dylan on the other side, improving, chasing these kills far past enemy lines. Damage on a big sweep, but now Nut, they've heard the fighting. Improving's alone, 1v3. Burst into the storm, tries to get away. The hunt, as he does survive, even if you have the shock trap, they pull back to save Improving's life with the Orbs of Argus. They did a lot of damage to Lord Vader as he snapped back to SVI. Monster will take the kill credit.
Yeah, the main character's playing that really well. Somehow Improving living there after sniping another kill through on the Saros there. SVI finding an opportunity as well on the flank to get a kill through. Juice looking for the res there. It's kind of ego it. Nut just goes right on top of nowhere to go. Forced into the lava. So Yap taken out at 8 here.
And overkill rounds.
Like really nowhere to go. So many teams around this res, you know.
Not do revive Lord Vader. I thought for a second that maybe main characters would play even more aggressively on Nutty, who got the respawn off. But Lord Vader is frail, an easy target for them to attack if need be.
Yeah, and I kind of like we've seen a bit of a fall off of Shiv. I like the Shiv Carbine Brall on the side of Nut. Kind of like the TLD strategy. We see him clashing here.
Grillo put down his emergency platform, and Nutty try to fight against Phenom. They find the spike with Shiv on the other side, but Game Center are on the other side as well. Scrub look Lord down. It's up to Lord Vader, but MC have pushed back while they get the chase on the other side. Lamer still alive. Jetski trying to throw out some damage, but the bungee shot will drag back in Abador on the top side while we go down south, and it's Moonlit Battlegrounds so close, helping eliminate Nutty, and SVI are the ones who got the credit while main characters can push up north and see that TLD are weakened. The Game Center have defeated Lemur, and Abador will be the last one remaining for TLD. 6 teams remain, and there is no shot you get away from this unless Moonlit Battlegrounds can save you, but they get the kill regardless for Madly, while Madly and Game Center now have to deal with Moonlit Battlegrounds. They have been beaten and bruised from the fight against TLD. They had the bungee shot on to height, but they finally collect the kill for Jetski, slicing down Spade while they lost Madly and Skedaddle on the other side because main characters came out of nowhere. Jetski eliminated by Pine and Moonlit Battlegrounds.
Dude, this is just constant. Improving ships it in right after, takes out Spade Storms. This Armor Shredder has traded hands like 18 times in the last minute. So now Improving picks it up. It's like every Carbine just getting the best. And Moonlit Battlegrounds down to 1. They take TLD's damage soul, and now it's just Pine left full time on this crown, but MC wants it.
Look, I have seen Pine pull off some insane plays, but not this one, right? He can't get it. Slug Wave thrown out. 1:40 still remains on the clock. TNN couldn't find Pine as he was able to get away. He might need a heal, barely getting any health for it. Improving is dashing away with the help of the anomaly. Some damage, and PCA are also here. Everyone surrounding Pine, everybody attack the Pineapple as they remove Moonlit Battlegrounds. Then PSA, Pamu will be taken down as well.
So Pine cannot win the 1v12 there, unfortunately. Tries his best. Nice boombox res for PSA coming through, getting Pamu back up there. Pamu kind of threw it down.
Budget delicate.
Yeah, SVI gets thrown.
Almost the budget delicate 4-star Flash, while 3 teams now slowly pushing back in. Main characters, one of them. They won game 1, game 2. Pretty devastating loss as they fell out at 10th place very early on. This time around, they're feeling that confidence boosted back, especially for Improving. We talked about before, having the Armor Shredder is going to start doing a lot of damage really soon to anybody who steps up to try to duel him.
Yeah, and we saw like TLD earlier. It was crazy. Like that was such an insane sequence of third parties. But we saw Abador rip the Mythol crossing this abyss gap and put GCR in such a rough position to get third party by Moonlit. And then right after that, the same exact thing happens to Moonlit by main characters here. In the end of it all, they come away with Damage Soul and Armor Shredder. And so looking extremely dominant. But this Chalker Gauntlet Magical and SVI lurking on the flank here with a shrapnel of their own.
And look at all the boulders. These chonker cannons from both main characters and PSA. This is looking like quite the dodgeball course. It seems to have to get around, but the bombing run splits up the fight. SVI still on the other side, unable to join. The anomaly might be their entrance. They just got to be careful as the bombing run does keep both MC and PSA pinned up the northern part here at Prisma Falls.
Yeah, and I think SVI is kind of looking scary here. I don't know how much intel these guys have and where they're at, and these guys are looking violent. So if this fight breaks out, SVI might get the best of it.
Two-way tunnel from main characters actually went backwards. Starflash is going to be the casualty that's paid by PSA. The Beacon trying to drag him out of the boombox radius so they can stomp on the Wisp of Starflash and now put PSA down a player. With 3 teams still standing strong, SVI slowly pushing back while PSA, they might be inside of the circle, but that is not your safety ledge.
Yeah, they kind of get pushed completely out of their Chocolate Gauntlet up here. I love the look from Matthias to be just placing those everywhere. They're building a new Chocolate Gauntlet down here on this island that you mentioned. But SVI throwing out fire their own. Pretty nice vision look here. And unless someone tries, oh, Dylan's going right for it. I was like, unless someone tries to push this, Dylan's just going to ego it. Look for the grab. It looks like, no, he's going
off.
Look
at Pamu, though. They teleported a respawn beacon over onto the rickety bridge. PSA should be able to get the revive off, as SVI are slowly pushing down in the south, and Kaizaro gives an awesome subscription as well to the channel. Much appreciated. Kaizaro is also working on a lot of overlays for the channel that I'm going to be implementing soon. So, huge shout out to Kaizaro, absolute legend in the community.
He's done the couple Spokane events we've done. He's done some dope graphics for.
He's really good at them. The ones that he's been working on too for the stream are really, really good. I'm really excited about them.
That's hype. That's awesome. Let's go.
All right, but look
All right,
at
so
this.
3 teams left here. We see like this, like it very much slowed down Magical, where it was just such high pace for so long, and everyone vying over position here as this next shift comes through. And PSA still looking pretty strong as we look here. I love the Vibe Infuser evolve when you get it. It's so strong, like especially on a hunter like Carbine who can just shift forward, getting so much value to these heals. So actually PSA looking pretty scary here if they can kind of establish this Chonker Gauntlet and hold their ground.
But PSA still are in a weakened state compared to the opposition. All golds for main characters, even if they only have that tiny island to play with. They have the circle favoring them. SVI and PSA both will have to simultaneously play into the hands of main characters. And PSA having white armor for Starflash, that's going to be the big problem right there with the two-way tunnel. MC move on the other side of the rickety bridge. They throw down a trap to try to lock down anybody from main characters, but Pamu had to bail already. SBI taking the former stronghold of PSA for themselves.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, everyone's playing this pretty well. Like very patient. We don't see anyone overcommitting. Everyone really trying to play around fire. We do see someone going to be losing their fire over here as SBI kind of takes 2. And PSA continuing to kind of get forced back. You mentioned slight armor disadvantage on Starflash. I think with the amount of damage come through, not going to make a huge difference with the shrapnel over here and the damage over here. It's going to be just like a wild fight either way. I think what PSA really wants to do here is try to find the third party. Definitely easier said than done, because that's exactly what SVI and main characters want as well. We see no one really overcommitting, and main characters doing the Chonker Gauntlet as well. So big cat balls.
And I'm waiting for teams on how they want to move forward towards main characters. Main characters still strong as they've set up all these boulders. But on the other side, PSA tried to play for land contention against the Illuminati and lost. Taking back Sinner's Embrace over the abyss. The slams everywhere for Dylan and improving. Game 3 for main characters.
What just happened, bro? It's like we're chilling 5 seconds later, it's over.
That's Supervive for you. That's how it works sometimes. And game 3 going to main characters, that's 2 now for the team that they've been able to pick up.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing here for the squad, because back in the day, it was main characters as the only real competition in NA against the Last Door. Everyone always talked about main characters. They had some of the hypest plays of any NA team outside of the Last Door. But unfortunately, as time went on, the team went their separate ways. Players playing a little bit less or wanting different styles, having different opinions on certain things. Sadly, we ended up seeing them go on to multiple different teams, but now slightly reformed. Not quite, because obviously it's trios instead of squads, but still seeing them be dominant, improving, being a great leading force for the team. Dylan on point with these hooks, and TN on the other side, the Eva to keep everyone alive. Boom. OC said there were 7 kills for improving in that last game, which means that's 21
actually was just
points. Damn.
Oh, really?
3 points. 3 points a kill. 7 times 3
Oh
is 21.
yeah, true, yeah.
Just for improving. That's why I did this. Big brain online here for me. This is why I did this, to really change things up and have it be really spicy.
And the 9 in the first game, Magical.
Yeah.
Another, what, 27?
Yeah, another 27 there for improving. And I will say, a lot of teams have had a lot of Carbine kills. There have been some kills elsewhere, yes, but I feel like that's been the big thing. My niece is screaming because the dog is trying to jump on her.
That's all good, bro.
Oh, she's gone? Okay.
Diving into game 4 here. We got unstable portals, and I think it's like we're going to end up seeing if anyone's looking to kind of play against main characters here. Because if main characters come away with another victory, that's like they are really locking in first place. So I think it's going to be up to these other teams to look to take advantage of main characters this game and look to kind of try to put them behind on points. And it's such an interesting conversation, like players talking about having like nameplates on and off and stuff. And it's such a heated topic of discussion in a battle royale to basically like in over the series of a course of games, like whatever the tournament format is, if a team is ahead, is it wise or is it allowed or is it cool for the other teams to sort of like team up on them and play against them so they don't lock in that first place spot? And it's like it's some of this like, you know, meta strategy beyond just the meta of a game at a time. It's like the series meta, right? And it's just like it's always super interesting to see play out here.
A controversial opinion. I am for the nameplates being on and being able to essentially team up and take people down as long as you're not messaging each other and deciding this in offline
scenarios.
It
has to happen organically on the fly, right? There can't be like, hey, we are gonna. It's got to be just like both teams knowing that team is ahead and playing against them because of that. And
that's
you know, it's
when
just,
I'm okay with
it. It happens organically, yeah, basically.
Only then.
If the teams are playing smart, if they're playing to win the series, which is often the cash prize, so why wouldn't you, right?
Exactly. So that's when I'm okay with it. And now we're seeing what I'm also okay with, which is early fighting. We already saw one up north. D&D gotta get in the worst end of that fight. And now here we're seeing that Cat was able to punish Moonlit Battlegrounds. We're even seeing the potential for AMC still to fight. And back in Academy itself, there was more fighting. A lot of early skirmishes. Look at this. 13 squads, 33 players. That means there's been 6 players eliminated in the first moments of this game. And main characters who just got back on their feet are still fighting against Game Center. They're split up, a TNN getting a lot of damage automatically, missing the tether damage that could have possibly gotten the kill. So Jetski instead will punish, improving, while MC trying to skate away from the battle, having to leave the Wisp to get stomped.
Yeah, super extended battle up here between GCR and main characters. TNN doing a pretty good job, kind of putting out big early damage on this Eva. And do some work with those early herbs. It is going to get taken out in the end. They were able to get a player out, so Dylan able to escape, find that early Cobas res. Going to be just fine here as we make our way down to
Wraith's Row,
baby.
Okay, it's Pine who gets away for Moonlit Battlegrounds, but our two teams that have picked the victory today put on the back foot early in game 4. Moonlit Battlegrounds only have Pine. Main characters only had Dylan left, but Dylan is in Kobayashi's. The revive is there, so the team will be fine to battle once more. While we see in Wraith's Row, PSA are still chasing Cat and looking to see if they can pull back in Lodge, missing the grab, but the Slam 2 goes wide as Kenneth was able to dive behind and try to see if he can survive with the team, getting Cat out of danger. But Cat are still getting hunted down, and they got to heal Kenneth back up. A spin dash through minions, but PSA still holding on to the high ground.
Yeah, and it's pretty like extended, just like trading here. PSA not letting up on Cat. Cat continuing to just kind of fall back. They have 2 of the golds, right? I think they're just looking to play a little position here and try to keep those. They don't want to overcommit on the level 6 versus the level 5. But PSA kind of knows that, continuing to keep tempo up. Right to their left at heart, though, TLD finding a fight. An Ion against NBA. NBA is down to 2. Montague trading really well here.
Still alive, the orbs to heal him back up, and it was a 1v2, while on the other side, Lemur versus Game Over. Brall versus Carbine. You'd rather have that Brall win the fight and not lose at all, but you still have to imagine that you'd rather get the kills on the other side, while DJ Montague winning in the 2v1. Phenom bursting him back into the wall to get the stun, but Beckham will drag him back into the fight, and they've already got the Orbs of Argus there with Lemur having run back towards the rest of his team, trying to survive, but Game Over could possibly jump over with the anomaly. He was debating it, but they decide instead they want to try to go for the Deathbox revive. Well, it's going to be the other side attempting the same.
Oh, this is like the standoff, the Western standoff. They're like taking 10 paces, both going to go through here. So both teams back to full force. We'll see if we see a round 2. As both these teams looking kind of stacked already. We see 2 golds on the side of NBA. Pretty chipped away, though, as Game Over looks for another entry into TLD. I got to say, DJ Montague playing that fight really well early on the Eva, trading just so much pressure out with the damage and healing themselves in that 2v1 there.
And making it look good on Eva here. And I will say, especially on players that understand how to play, especially around the orbs, you can see the power that an Eva brings to the team. While setup is required, DJ Montague had both orbs, the healing and damage if anyone jumped on top of Eva, allowed them to essentially become a pseudo-tank where they're just healing up. And if you have no anti-heal like Carbine, you're not really going to be able to do too much to actually guarantee that kill on Eva.
For sure. Completely agree. And NBA not letting up the tempo as they find another kill up here onto
D&D.
I think, yeah, D&D. So Goth, Cowboy, and Diamond kind of on the retreat here. They're going to be kind of right in the middle of Nutty, though. So Lord Vader just continue to find him. Oh, Scrub is down, too. So both teams at 2 here, actually.
Yeah. And it seems that both teams attempting to play around Kobayashi's. Now that the sun has risen, we are in day 2. Bungee shot getting a nice stun on the Rammus Enjoyers and ripping apart with the damage from Abador. Evil Lobster, he's so close to the brink, but it's going to be the Star Fox as they try to flash in, getting damage onto Abador, burning. No! Abador survives! TLD deny and even a chilling finale. It's only the finale for the Rammus Enjoyers as Mid-Chicken cannot get over that wall. They want to slice down the competition, removing one more team from the equation.
Yeah, and last kill going over to Phenom there on the Carbine.
That's
nice
when you play
TLD.
for the kills on the Carbine.
Yeah, 100%. And Varel looking strong, though, still. Like, not a bad fight by them, but you're going up against the best of the best there. And we see so close, but Abador, that very last arrow, and he's a literal one-shot, goes through, he gets the heal. That turns the fight, and in the end, TLD come out on top. And it's just, you know, those inches are so often what separate, you know, the top squads. But I really got to say it again. I love seeing Rel come out here. You know, you mentioned the team from Reddit, and players I haven't seen before, just battling it out with the best of them. So even though they do go out at 13th here, again, not a bad look.
Not a bad look. And we are playing for fun here. We're playing for Supervive and the community. I'm still trying to work on a prize pool. Can't promise anything yet, but I'm doing my best, everybody, and I appreciate everyone who's just playing, even if there's not a guaranteed prize pool on the line for everybody. But we look over towards the last door. This game,
round 2,
it has felt like they have been fighting everyone. They are not afraid of anything. The aggressive composition. OC15 kind of called it out that they're copying Moonlit Battlegrounds, but right now Lemur having escaped back with the rest of the team and over the abyss, was looking for the dunk, not going to be able to get it, but it's Chinese Spy on the hunt with the boom bucked on the other side onto 2 members of each squad. Beckon trying to drag him away, push them further out of the fight, but missing the pull could be devastating. Abador now has Lemur on the other side. The chain's connected. They pick up the kill onto Abador, but they're slicing down and trying to get Phenom. Phenom blasting back on the kill for a game over, but it's only the Wisp. Wasn't able to confirm the kills. Instead, Phenom will bail out and probably look for a respawn for TLD.
Crazy. So round 2 of Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy versus TLD there. So close again. Just so much value coming through there from the Eva from Montague. Huge boombox to keep himself alive, recover. Montague just kind of playing out of his mind this game on the Eva.
And we see Nutty now struggling against Game Center, but Madly actually was able to get the kill on to Lord Vader. So they are battling back the best they can. And seeing how these games are going, main characters help out Nutty to eliminate another squad. Our only second team in Game 4 to be eliminated, and unfortunately, it was Game Center.
Yeah, they got super pinched there. I was like so lost in the sauce down here with this chaos happening in Ion, and it's just madness. D&D get a pick through. Now NBA down a member after having such a strong game so far, so hopefully able to peel out and recover here. But it looks like D&D wanted maybe keep up the pressure. They are going to let off, and we saw so much kind of clashing and everyone kind of peeling out a little bit. We see a lot more space opening up here around Ion as that Soul Boss does go down. So
also, I do want to give a further shout out to Rel and Kind Captain, who came into chat saying that using the girlfriend's account for Twitch for some reason, and saying he just plays mainly to get better, and so we all get better. Keep trying. I appreciate you, and I will say I have a pretty good moment of your Felix play, the 1v3 that you had earlier.
Bro,
so definitely
lit.
check that one out if you want. I got a nice clip for you on that one. I haven't been able to clip it, but I'll try to later.
It will be. It'll be a MadMagical featured short on his YouTube. Make sure to follow his YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I'll be getting it later. I can send it to you once I have it all done, but sadly, while I'm in the middle of casting, I'm not really capable of getting them all edited because I try to put like the words into the videos as well.
Yeah, they're great. If you haven't seen Magical's casting shorts, check out his YouTube channel and go to the Shorts tab. He has a bunch of really hype Supervive plays from like literally some of the best players in the game. And he just, he's got the magical cast over the top. Beautiful 30 to 60 seconds of Supervive.
I try my best. I try to help out with the community. And speaking of helping out right now, DEI send Protofo now on Beebo. There it is. Finally locking that in. I was wondering when we were finally going to get that. Protofo eventually saying, all right, 3 games of Kingpin. Now it's back to the Beebo tech.
Yeah, and I think Protofo's Beebo is probably his best, at least from what I've seen out of him, like observing the little bit I've got to watch him here in the last few weeks. His Beebo looks pretty dang strong, and I've seen him do some crazy things on it. And I like, it's interesting, immense Minoob here, the only Shrike out here really sticking to his guns, playing Shrike the whole way through. And DEI not looking too bad with this Beebo Shrike Carbine comp, just completely, off meta from what everyone else is doing. But I really like the look.
I also like OC15 calling out that NA starting to pick up more Kingpin after watching the Bissell Cup 2, where EU...
Kingpin's just the GOAT, dude. He's always been the GOAT.
Exactly. And this is something I've been wanting NA to adapt to for some time, because there are still really good players on Kingpin in NA. But everyone dropped it after a couple of nerfs, while EU never let up on it. They constantly were still spamming it over and over again, because it's still really good. The pick potential alone puts Kingpin in a class and their tier all by themselves.
And he just has such a reliable crown play with the way, a good Kingpin can play around an Abyss angle. If they think they're going to get a grab, shift into a mantle, into a dunk, or double shift midair into a dunk, it's just like such a reliable crown proc setup that, not only is Kingpin great at setting up his team initially, he's also great at keeping his team in the game if he finds himself as the last player alive, being able to so reliably proc those crowns around Abyss. As main characters forcing it here, improving in, wings out.
They're looking to get the spike on improving, but he might have been saved. That left Dylan out to dry and die, losing Kingpin, and now Sinner's Embrace does get the stun as it's a punt away onto improving. Proto says, to hell with getting kills for Carbine. It's the Beebo tech this game, trying to pick up these kills and pick up anybody as they're pushing back main characters and eliminating them early again.
Crazy. So main characters literally go first 11th here. That's wild. As DEI take them out. Really nice look at the end there from TNN to try to live, but huge play by Protofo with the follow-up immense and crib on the Shrike and Carbine damage. Really well played from DEI. Get a squad wipe there. Make our way over here. We see Cat, XP Soul, 2 gold armors with a blue on Lods. Looking pretty scary themselves, and everyone kind of positioning now around this next storm shift. And on unstable portals here, Magical, there's always this kind of uncalculated angle. We can see here right now, it's the green and the orange across the map, but in this next shift, that'll move to 2 new portals. And if you're not accounting for that, it's a subtle storm shift. And so if you're not accounting for that portal being there, you can get really caught off guard. And also we've seen a lot can enable escape angles, right? Where if someone's running, it gives them an angle to get somewhere on the map they never would have been able to get. And there is not lurking here. Lord Vader almost able to get it through.
D&D, they have an Eva for them. It's difficult to actually jump on them if they're set up like they were. But with 9 squads still remaining on our final day, we see how these teams are forcing each other. Bye-bye, Brally Zik0rik. What a dunk. I haven't seen a dunk like that from Oath before.
Double Oath dunk, Abyssal Breaker goes huge for Zik0rik there. The bush play, excellent, and it just gets reversed on him because D&D were just kind of lurking as Nut looked at him over there. So really nice play by SVI there to lock in too.
And getting both players for D&D, great thing for the team. Unfortunately, of course, not getting the kills for Carbine, but like I said, sometimes it's a bait. You sometimes want just the kills alone.
Points are points, baby.
And right there, Zik0rik sees the play perfectly, understands what they need to do, and gets 2 more points for the team. But we see that SVI aren't done with D&D, who just got revived, and then they already lose 1. D&D Now back onto Diamond and Goth Cowboy alone as they're both trying to get away, and we see the nukes being sent out and DEI pushing back D&D. Goth Cowboy now with their back against the wall. Overkill rounds are sent out. Crib's put down the cage and they get the kill for Crib.
DEI having a game here. Second squad wipe for them in pretty quick succession. Couple of minutes making our way over here. The carnage continues as Cat finds the way down. Lemur slash so low.
Nice survive, but it almost getting spiked with the help of the walls. And having gotten out of there, it leaves Moonlit Battlegrounds, Cat and SVI coming in from the north to pinch back, and Cat now in a bad spot because Nutty, they're going to be the team that cleans up Cat. 3 kills for Krillo. It's
tragic.
Absolutely tragedy for Cat. Well,
beautiful for Nut, tragedy for Cat. Very well played by Nut. Has the perfect bush angle for the 4th party there. Cat has no idea they're there. Forced right into their arms. Nut pick up an easy 3. Full squad elim, so 7 squad out there for Cat, and down to just 6 pretty quick in succession here. We saw, quite a few teams hanging on, and like 3, 4, 5 go out there in pretty quick succession. Moonlit looking to make it another on the side of PSA.
PSA, they hold on to the mainland. It's the tracks that Moonlit Battlegrounds instead have to play around, not wanting to push back over this abyss, even if they have the rings that can benefit them. It's difficult going past Starflash on Kingpin, who is looking for the dunks. Does get the pull, and he's dragging him in for an easy alley-oop dunk on his own to get rid of Pine, while Moonlit Battlegrounds have to bail.
That's exactly what we were talking about at Kingpin. So reliable, and that was a really nice example of it by Starflash. Nice hook into the full shift across, gets the mantle into the dunk. Easy kill confirmed, puts Moonlit Battlegrounds on the back foot there. Gives PSA an angle to fight TLD here on the left.
Guess what? The whole time, TLD, they went for the revive out in the storm to bring back the team, but Lemur, unfortunately, has to take a portal to escape. Well, DEI did send Protofo to chase him out, but it's going to be PSA who still pushed back the remaining members who did not jump into the portal onto DEI. SBI, they see Lemur, and Lemur doesn't have a crown, spiked easily. I'm not sure who got the kill on that one, but more points.
There's nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
He's just like, it was a really good portal. We were literally talking bad about the portals earlier, how it can be such a good escape angle. Lemur's such a heads-up play. Takes it, actually lives for a second, but tries to run north and finds his way into 2 other teams, like pinched by 3 on the other side of the portal. So nothing you can do there. Nice by DEI, though. Yeah, but off of that, Protofo.
He escapes. He gets back to his team on the other side as well.
DEI playing this game crazy, actually.
This is why I want to see Protofo on Beebo. The tech this player knows with that Hunter is insane. Did you see how quick with the grab was able to get past SVI, then use the leapfrog to get over the wall into the Tonk escape?
Yeah, and that was off of the back. Like, they're continuing the violence off of that. They got such a clean 3rd party into the north side of TLD, and they continue the momentum, not letting up here. And we'll have to see how it looks like Nutty happy to just kind of hold their northern ground as these other squads duke it out. They do have XP Soul up there. They got the nuke, Abyss Specialist, everything looking pretty good. But Moonlit Battlegrounds kind of in the water over here, not at their normal sort of tempo if we look at the items in comparison.
Honestly, I gotta say, this whole tournament hasn't really felt at their tempo. It feels like they've been able to do well, they get good placements, but they're not snowballing out of control like we tend to see the squad do. Here, it's been a little bit more calm from them throughout the games, trying to scale up into the late.
It seemed like, to me, a lot of the top squads are getting contested. TLD and like you mentioned them, like it's just like it's a very competitive out here, very close fights.
SBI.
Every pretty much fight we watch. Nut take one away from SBI. SBI in a rough position here, but it looks like Moonlit wants Nut instead.
As Height was looking for the dunk, but the dunk on the other side from Scrub, while Height barely survives. The mantle keeps him alive, same with Volcanic Rebuke, while SBI still being hunted down Moonlit Battlegrounds. They've controlled the bog. This is their swamp, not yours, Illuminati. As they try to disperse, get away, it's only Berserker. PSI is on the other side, and they look for the slam. Spade's gonna be the target they send the battle towards, while Nutty take down the other members of Moonlit Battlegrounds. It's only Pine left, and Nutty should be able to clean this one up, easily eliminating another squad.
Wow, and so just like that, Moonlit gets eliminated. We mentioned their kind of rough spot in the water behind tempo. Look at all these teams around him. Berserker here, last member for SVI, finds a bush in the middle of that chaos, just waiting it out. I love it.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
suspects.
And look at the circle position. It's perfect, bro. Nut has no idea.
The drone that should have spotted him out. That went right over the bush. They know. That's why Berserker had to peel back, but it's right into Nutty. Mortar's there, and Berserker is gone. Nutty get the kill confirmed for Lord Vader as a nuke being sent out by DEI. We are down to our final 3.
Yeah, nice game by Supervive Illuminati there. Coming out, ending up at 4th, but we saw a lot of spicy fights from them throughout. We saw Zik0rik with the double dunk. Speaking of dunk, not a dunk, but a kill, I think, coming through off of the grab here.
And a little bit late on the boombox, so it's going to benefit PSA. While Nutty, they say it doesn't matter. We can wait out the boombox. The song is over. Nutty are the team in control and in charge of Game 4. Proto 4 and Menu, but the last ones remaining for DEI.
Yeah, and like this has been a really good tempo game for DEI, but Nutty have been playing this final circle really well. So patient on the north side, finding all the right third-party angles. This is going to be a huge uphill battle for DEI if they can pull it off here.
They're trying something. I'm not sure what Protofoe's looking for right there. Has that TP down. The team's chasing him. Getting back with Menoob on the other side, but the cluster nuke has separated the fight. I don't know if that's exactly what Scrub Lord wanted in that fight, because the rest of Nutty weren't with the team. Overkill rounds, chunking down Protofoe as he jumps over the heads of Nutty, leaving his teammate behind. Menoob in a 1v2 duel as Shrike. When they're on top of you, never a good look. TP does escape for Protofoe, trying to heal back up. But what do you do from here? Sending out the frozen meep and having no tonk, no cart. It's Nutty winning Game 4.
Yeah, honestly, like really well played game from DEI there. Got to give it to them that they were just playing tempo the whole game. We saw really nice fights, but in the end, you got to give it to Nutty. It's very well played final circle execution there. We saw them early on, like kind of had their island to the north. We saw them get some nice third parties and just continuing to roll the tempo with their XP soul. They find the Night Stalker soul shortly after that. And yeah, just like really nice kind of like pretty calculated textbook end game coming through from Nut there.
Yeah, I mean, looking good for Nutty in that one. That one felt more like what we've seen from Nutty in the past, where they are able to pretty much be consistent throughout the entirety of the game. And looking really good. So right now we are going to take just a couple minutes break, try to send over those screenshots. But I think, let's see, the time is, for me, 7:01. So I say 7:05 is when we'll start the next games. So that's 10:05 if you're on the East Coast. Actually, I'll have to do that after the game. I told them to DM. Okay, yeah. Because I can get them off of the op.gg for Supervive, but it will take me some time. So that's the only problem with me getting that one. Which is why I'm like, I can, but it will take me a minute. Cat knows how to do it. So because Rel is newer, and they are the team that's kind of come in this one just to play, hang out, and get better. Obviously, they don't know like a lot of the things that we've done for scrims and for a lot of previous tournaments.
Yeah, for sure. They're getting the hang of it quick, though, as we're diving into Game 5 here. So 6 games total, right, Magical, with a potential surprise 7 game?
No 7th game. That was voted down, unfortunately.
Voted down. Dang. I love the all hunters ones, dude. We were potentially looking at a Game 7 all Carbine, guys, where it was going to be every team 3 Carbines, but in the sign-up form, it looked like the vote won out for no Game 7. So, and coming into 5 here, we'll have one more after.
It makes sense. Some players have said this, and this is with the newer hunters, because a lot of these ones tend to revolve around them. It's because not all the players own every hunter. That makes sense. That's why fair. A lot of them will vote against that. But as we get further into the game, a lot of players get more experience. We'll have a lot of these hunters unlocked for everyone, and that's why I'm thinking of doing some ones for older hunters or for hunters that were really easy to unlock, like customs. Crysta.
Yeah, it'd be cool if in customs all the hunters were unlocked.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
You need like 8 people to start it, so it's not like someone solo could like just go in.
Exactly. It does take some time, but here we go. Game 5, and already we had 2 potential teams ready to battle it out. In Prisma Falls, we see it's Moonlit Battlegrounds and SBI, but SBI are the team on the boombox, and they have control of that early. Moonlit Battlegrounds might be able to fight back. Both teams have hit with 2s and 3s, and it's 3s for Spade and for Pine, as Height might be a little bit behind, but they've thrown out the shock trap. They've locked down Zik0rik, who spin dashes back with the rest of the team. They have to forfeit that boombox that they coveted so much early on.
Yeah, so nice by NBA there. Kind of just force them off pretty quickly. Just putting out some nice damage. Big chip. They force out TLD on the back. Abador last. Trades. Atheos is down now. Pomo last.
Abador switched it out too. He's gone back to Ghost. Fighting in this duel. Pomo might be able to get the stun or get the heal, but instead they get eliminated. Abador.
Dude, disgusting. Such a close fight, though, there. Both teams just inches away from getting eliminated. In the end, Amador's ghost comes out on top. We've seen it before. We see it again. Really well played. TLD keeping themselves in it here. Certainly, like, if they can put up a couple... Oh, no.
Protofo was so close to the mantle. I thought they were going to get that. Two teams in Game 5 already eliminated. We have had it where...
It's so hard to watch that as the last player, too. Oh, that hurts.
Well, the thing that's wild for me in this one, Zik, is that we are going into Game 5, where every game prior has been 12 teams minimum in the final circles. And already, we have 2 teams knocked out very early on exits for top teams to PSA getting eliminated like that. DEI taking an early exit. I feel a little bad for them, especially with points now being so important, because we are starting to get them all added up. Alario has been working hard on the other side to get this. I'm really curious to see how the points are going to stack going into Game 6.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's so heated because those first couple of minutes. Oh, as we see here, D&D looking on TLD. Slam coming through on hello.
And goodbye right there to Phenom. Easily taken down by D&D, as they are the kings of the crypt and the keep. With TLD, they do survive to see another day, but they have to exit. And while we go north, it is Nutty taking Game 4 into Game 5. They're beating Cat. They only have Lods to deal with. What Lods will say, nope, I'm done. I'm going to survive so that I can bring the team back up. We don't need another team eliminated so early on.
I honestly love watching Nutty. I always have, even when they were like very new to scrims, just because they're always looking to scrap. They're just a violent team, and I love watching violent teams. And we can see, like in the team comp here, literal Brall, Shiv, Carbine. It's like all these guys, it's like they're looking to kill. They don't really care about supporting, engaging. It's like we're just gonna try to like murk everyone. And sometimes it comes through huge for them, Magical. Sometimes it backfires a little bit. I think that's why we end up seeing like such like spicy fights. It's a little bit like how Gap were, and I do really miss watching Gap, to be honest.
I will say I've heard some rumblings in the work about a resurrection of some players coming back into Supervive.
No way.
They've made these are public statements that have been said already, so nothing is being leaked or spoiled. But we should be looking forward to some stuff, especially when it comes to Abyssal Cup in a couple of weeks. So make sure you're tuning in for a lot of that, because that's where we'll see quite some action later on, which is always fun to watch. But we go over to another fight. Game Center against Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy. GCR tried to heal up a little bit for Skedaddle as they get the blast into the wall. The stun, not enough for Madly to turn around a 1v3. Moonlit Battlegrounds instead will stomp on his Wisp and force Game Center to run.
Yeah, Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy continuing to look strong here. And just like going back to your point, the last Abyssal Cup we saw in EU is literally one of the closest tournaments I've ever witnessed. As Moonlit Battlegrounds looking on to Yap, there's just so much burst.
And they are destroying them right now as Juice tries to escape, but in the end, it's not going to work out too well. You're about to become Juice, pulped to oblivion with the spike down from height.
Man, that sometimes if you get caught in that Brawl grapple engage, and he had a really nice ult there, followed with the rest of his team, right? The damage is just so huge. TLD, we saw him coming this whole time. I was trying to track him off the storm. Again, Abador, big brain, finds the train, going to keep his team in it here as Lemur looking to just barely live, maybe is going to be able to. And there's violence happening across the MadMagical. We see a fight here between SVI and GCR.
And we see
three
Nutty
teams
and
up at the top as well.
Nutty, Cat, and Ramus Enjoyers with the teams in a three-way battle for the northern peaks of Dawn Caps. And both teams of Rel and Cat ended up losing, having to go separate ways. Only Evil Lobster remains for Rel. And looking at the respawn beacons, there are some pretty safe ones they can fall back to. But it is not looking good for our newer squad.
Look at, and Nutty continuing to ride that early tempo off of that early fight victory over in Imotech. Vamp Glider Gas on the Carbine. Huge evolve coming in here for Krillo. Oh, and I forget to mention Magical, because I think you might have been AFK when I mentioned it, but Minoob on DEI is immense. He's also on his ult,
it's immense. Okay.
Because,
I know
because
immense.
He didn't have Carbine.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. I know immense. I was wondering, I'm like, I haven't heard of Menu before, so like that's a newer name,
yeah.
but immense.
That's his alt account. That's his account that he grinded ranked with me at the end of squad, so I could get.
Nice, nice. Okay, yeah, I know immense. I know.
Shout out immense legend.
Great players, and like I said, great community. We have all sorts of players that keep coming in and making it so that we can do a lot of the scrims that Jang and Dylan host for everybody that allow us to be able to cast them. Even over in EGU, you have the likes of Hachi, Treadsy, Samari, who work hard on making sure the scrims can happen there. Same with Tom Kick.
Yeah, 100%.
We have quite the goated community.
So many people.
Even if it's like
It's
small
like
still.
such a goated community, dude. It's so goated.
Like once this game goes to full release, I have high expectations, and I know this game will start popping off once we get there. But right now, we are still in open beta, and we are in the Carbine Cookout, looking for a pull from main characters. It's the odd game, and I feel like main characters, they cannot do anything when it's even. It's when it's odd, they feel the strongest.
That's hilarious. It's either red or black, baby. So main characters on a good game gonna win the bet on this one probably. But GCR and D&D
Wait a minute.
creating so much damage here. Jetski's in.
Madly's out, and Jetski almost got the dunk on a Galeth Cowboy, but couldn't get enough damage. Skedaddle will go north to try to escape, but Cat still have Kenneth alive. Deathbox Revive, bringing back Saucy Hack. They are going for another one right outside of the storm, so Cat should have all three players back alive, but they are going to be in a bad spot to play towards Frag Isle.
Yeah, I think they want to, if they kind of can go earlier, they probably don't have intel on these other two teams, but they might have an angle to get in. But yeah, like you say, bit of a rough spot. Fight happening down here between main characters and TLD, as we see TLD recovering off of that crazy journey down from Colping, the crazy early fight from Amador, and almost like looking, but they do get picked from main characters, so they're going to be forced off on the kind of split res here.
We're seeing a lot of these stragglers being picked off. Another revive. It was Game Center this time getting the revives for their team so they can go for round 2 against D&D.
Round 2, baby.
Overkill rounds did a lot to Skedaddle, and that's why Goth Cowboy feels empowered to go forward, but it's going to be a slam for slam battle with the Slug Wave, taking down one. Now Carbine in the duel, 1v2, taking the names, but it's going to be the battle back from Skedaddle to eliminate D&D.
That was so close both ways, just inches there as Skedaddle, last player left in the end, comes out on top, pulls it out for GCR. Really well played there.
Clutch.
Kind of like, I love, dude, like fights that are that close, it's literally just like peak Supervive. It's literal. I love the football analogy because it's literal inches between that going the other way.
I mean, what a play there. Just could have been either team getting eliminated, but GCR will be the team to stand tall and keep themselves alive in the Carbine Cookout Game 5. Well, TLD, it's just Lemur. And two teams surround his position. Summon Napalm will get him back into the bog to try to outlast and survive. But with main characters right behind him, that's why Lemur took the rings to get away.
Yeah, so Lemur looks like he is going to be able to live here, at least for a little bit longer. And main characters continuing to kind of push their way out of Mage Bog, up past the shop. GCR, though, kind of recovered after that crazy battle. Skedaddle gets both other members up. We look at their gear and stuff here. We see a Tech Soul Stealer on Skedaddle with a Tech Infuser, Vibe Infuser roll on Jetski. So looking pretty strong here. Yeah,
really strong here for Game Center. The only problem is going to be if they get flanked. Well, we're talking about flanked. Lemur. They get an early exit with TLD already eliminated in Game 5. Only one game left in this one. TLD, the last 2 games, not looking their strongest.
It's just like Lemur, especially in squads, he's like so good at getting away and like being, you know, the player that plays out a lot and is able to keep his team in it. But in trios, it just seems like the map is just a little more crowded than he's like been so used to training over these last, you know, however long he's been playing. And so it's like, I think it's just like, he's not finding the same kind of escape angles he was in squads. And you could even go the other way with that, with potentially not even finding the same kind of engage angles either. So
also granted, we are playing with 13 teams instead of the normal 12. A nice pull with Vectin almost was able to catch him out dry, but it's the Sinner's Embrace to lock down GCR, but they were ready for the battle. It is a kill on a Madly on the other side. He was only knocked, should be revived, but guess what? Nutty have been slowly pushing into the position of Game Center. They're ready to fight. Krillo going aggressive while Rel do get eliminated by main characters on the side. it's still Krillo putting out the damage. Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy helping to pinch the position of Game Center, who tried to go right past NBA.
Man.
Only one of them survived, and it is going to be Brall trying to heal up. Jetski has gotten to land while Nutty slowly pushed back onto NBA. And if NBA aren't paying attention, they can get caught off. DJ Montague does have the backup of his team, but not for game over. 2v1. And with Krillo to try to chase this down and on the other side for Game Center, they almost got the revive, but they were hunted down by NBA. Wall all the way down south. Main characters with a crown being worn by improving. TNN is gone. Improving does bring back the team. SBI now in a bad spot as Berserker tries to get away. But guess what? Cat has been waiting in the bush this whole time to pounce, and it's on to Nutty as they got rid of Krillo. But the slam down throws it back onto Saucy Hack while TNN and Dylan barely survive. Improving, dashing forward. He's got blood in his sights and he wants to pick up the kill, but is a nice fan to take an escape on the other side. Well, SBI are eliminated, pinched between two squads. NBA now in the middle as they were able to fight back, and Nutty only has Scrub that got out of there.
Magical. Absolute carnage right here in the Carbine Cookout. Just bodies all over the floor. Squads eliminated. 6 squads left as Scrub McLord trying to not be the 6th here. Improving. Trying to proc another crown for main characters. And you mentioned it. On game, bro. They're winning.
And guess what? Cat are eliminated at the same time, just a little bit later. MB pushing back NBA. Sinner's Embrace will lock down Hyde. He was mostly stunned for only a moment. And the rest of NBA have been able to peel back while main characters, all 3 teams got M in their name, but which is the real king in this battle? Who will be the rap god to decide victory? As it is going to be NBA getting pushed back and not even trying to join in with their sister team.
Here we're going to see the cross.
Sorry, Noxy Bun with the raid as well, bouncing the hypocrisy. You are a new friend, bouncing from the hypocrisy for a new friend. Noxy, thank you so much. Let me do a quick shout out for you as well. Thank you so much for joining.
Is great, guys.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Nazi, she has an amazing VTube stream that she does that I've caught a few times. Really entertaining.
So make sure you're checking her out, and I'm glad to see you're back into the Supervive flow of things. It's a lot of fun. I'm so shy. You are amazing as a streamer. You do a fantastic job. I appreciate you having you in here, especially for our Carbine Cookout. It is game 5. And we are pushed to our final 4.
It is spicy out here, Noxy. It is going down. We just saw like 8 teams clash over here on the left of Magebog, and like 5 go out in series. Down to 4 here as we're closing in, and it looks like NBA has had a couple of really nice games. Look at this item armor kind of stack they got going here, and they're holding middle ground literally right in the center of 3 teams. Magical, this is where we see the cross-country shift really start to come into play. They have to cross Academy Wall. They have to go up through Frag Isle. It is going to be a spicy shift. You know, you can feather over here, you can drop under here, but this is going to move fast. And so we're going to look to see how these teams play this next shift out.
And Game Center, the last non-M team remaining. They have gotten the inside track of the circle as it will start migrating.
I love that that's something we're tracking.
Hey, they're the last one. We'll see if we have
hey, your rules, bro. Carbine Cookout. Let's go.
But Moonlit Battlegrounds, they've already entered Academy, so they'll be safe. MC and GCR trading blows. The fragmented isles that they have to deal with now are going to be difficult as they barely get onto land. And we see that main characters are delaying. They know once they enter that zone, it is difficult for them to fight back. Instead, they turn their attention towards Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy, who throw out some walls of their own onto main characters, but don't find it just yet. It's Dylan they're relying on for these picks to try to bring back in an Eva especially. But the pull going wide, they instead decided to flank back and try to get some safety.
Yeah, I mean, if there was someone to do it, it would be main characters with the shrapnel here, but it's going to be hard to just take a straight up fight against NBA here, looking so strong with the kind of setup. And GCR doing a pretty good job moving ahead of the shift here. I like the kind of positioning angle they're taking. We saw Moonlit Battlegrounds take the jump pad angle over into stacks here. And this is going to be, after this shift, we're going to see, like, if it closes into the north here, into this upper part of Frag Isle, it's going to get dangerous, Magical.
Yes, it is. I feel like no matter where it goes outside of Academy, it's going to be a dangerous circle because then you have to deal with those walls again. You have to deal with the portals. The islands are still going to be a nightmare for any team to try to get away from. And we do see a attempted portal battle looking for the long-range pull, too. but not quite getting it.
He dips through for a sec. Yeah, not quite. Just taking a quick peek, seeing what's up. Game over, maybe thinking about the same thing. Look at this, like the way the visuals coming through on the spectator. It's just
so
like
funny.
going all the way.
It's so funny to watch because that's essentially what happens. Just normally it's hidden. You're seeing that it goes all the way over there, and here is where that circle will go back towards Mage Bog.
Oh, right back in the other direction. Curveball there. So like again, everyone's gonna have to traverse across this academy wall, find their way across Frag Isle, some find way over. We see NBA throwing out fire here. Mainly, it looks like to get some vision before they kind of face check up onto this high ground. They are going to get it. Montague moves up at the orb, taking center position again. NBA not afraid really to kind of take center ground here and hold it.
Very interesting too, because now this puts our 3 teams inside of Academy at odds with one another. They have to get past the portal, they have to get past the walls, but they also have to make sure they're not having the glider punished when they try to escape the danger zone they all now find themselves in.
Yep, 100%. And it's going to be like Moonlit Battlegrounds, I guarantee you, wants to hold this 5th angle against GCR. They want to force GCR to push into them across a good abyss angle or otherwise and make it, give themselves an advantage in the fight that they know they're going to have, because GCR is going to have nowhere else to go. So expect to see this kind of setup from Moonlit, potentially on the other side of this wall here. But they're going to find main characters right here as well.
Main characters, they were the only team not in Academy. They didn't want to go to school. Instead, they want to have a schoolyard brawl, as they are already getting damage onto MB. While MBA against the game centers inside of Academy, they're punished as they try to escape. Jetski double dashing away. Skedaddle is alive, but they are split up. GCR no longer with one another, and the chains that had connected onto TNN into the back line, trying to get rid of Eva. They've got one down. Now it's going to be the crown from Jetski as the boombox laid down, improving, diving into 3. But he's got to be careful with how he escapes. Then Jetski taking the attention of Moonlit Battlegrounds. Dylan on the other side needed that pull, but Jetski might be able to stop the whisk to gain control and might be able to look for a dunk, but improving does not give a damn. He wants the crown to bring back up TNN.
Yeah, I honestly love the way Jetski played that. Just YOLO in on the brawl, looking for a kill for the crown. Doesn't quite come through as main characters finish it off there. And again, odd game. This is main characters betting game to win. And they've had this kind of item stack for so long. It's just like it gets a bit tricky, the final circle with cross country. You have to play the positioning so much more calculated than you normally do. And I think all 3 of these teams actually doing a really good, all 4, honestly, we're doing a really good job of it so far.
And main characters right now getting chased down by Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy. A pull to land, Sinners Embrace, locking down Chinese Spy. Damage thrown on a DJ Montague. Moonlit Battlegrounds, now as they eat up the scraps, another pull on a Chinese Spy over the abyss. Main characters will topple them down, and now with a mega avalanche thrown down, they're looking to get any stuns, but they've been behind the walls, and now Height goes rampant into the back line, trying to dash on top of him is Dylan, keeping them at bay. TNN trying to escape too, but it's going to be difficult for Eva to get out of there. Does so because a nice pull from Dylan will save the support's life.
Beautiful escape from main characters there. They get the squad wipe to put themselves into the final 2. And as Moonlit look to engage, find their way out north, find an island, get a breathing room to reset here, get cooldowns back. And we see not quite what they had before, but still looking very scary here in this round 2 against Moonlit. And Moonlit finding a good kind of angle there. We see Masamune on Shrike Jordan's Carbine here.
Zik, where's the next circle going? I'm curious. Oh, back to Academy. So oh my goodness, they really want these players to learn.
It's like learn, and it's like you go play in the yard for recess, and then back to learning.
Right now, Dylan taking a lot of damage. The chain's connected. A Sinner's Embrace missing on every member, but the platform put down by Height will keep him alive as he dashes back towards Pine and Spade, keeping themselves on this main land, while the island for MC, it is their home, but as the storm slowly will push them back into Academy, we'll see how the teams decide to enter. Do they go over the wall, underneath? Do they tempt fate and go for the fight against one another? Main characters have TNN traded with improving, going on to the mainland, trying to fight against MB. But Moonlit Battlegrounds chase them down instead with a slam back. But Pine has gotten the damage. They've taken out Dylan. And now with TNN trying to get the orb to help him out, a Beckon drives 2 into the storm. But the boombox will keep him alive. And then a nice punt back. While he cannot get away, it's up to improving. 1v2 Carbine versus Spade. Who will win this one? Improving, making sure no one can back up height.
Spade's played that beautifully on the myth. Improving, looking for an angle as they jump pad over, trying to get a feather through to get himself over himself. We're going to see what option he looks for here.
He's going
He
for
does
it.
Get the feather over right into the arms of Moonlight. Shifts in.
Tries to get the burst back, but now with the bow unleashed, Spade trying to get damage. Improving, dodging from everything. The shots land true.
Wow.
Overkill rounds. Improving, putting down the walls, and it's the true Pine v Improving Carbine duel. Who wins? Stun for stun. Overkill rounds. Improving needs one more. Throwing out a penguin to try to see if he can spot out Pine. Well, Pine tries to heal up, but Improving not going to give him any chance to do so around the walls. But the pillars keeping Pine alive. Overkill rounds blocked by the pillar, not getting enough damage, and both sides again having to retreat, heal back up while Improving, never relenting. The traps have been laid down, but the walls are placed on both sides. Improving loses. Pine wins the duel.
Insane! Carbine v Carbine, 1v1 duel to finish game 5 for the Carbine Cookout. Absolute cinema there, bro. Such a beautiful fight from both squads. Fatestorm actually having some insane R&Bs in that first part of the fight, then Improving, just tearing up the north side of the early fight, and then winning getting a pick in the 1v2, putting it to a 1v1 Carbine, but in the end, not quite able to take out Pine there. Shifts in, but Pine able to trade the damage burst back a little quicker. So in the end, Moon the Battlegrounds take the victory, but holy magical, what a game.
What a game, what a win for Moonlit Battlegrounds, denying the odd victory for main characters as they tie up in the lead. 2 wins for Moonlit Battlegrounds, 2 for main characters, 1 for Nutty. And our last game is going to be Bullet Train. Wouldn't be a tournament without Bullet Train for me. We all know how much I love that one. And if the players are ready, we can dive right into the game as soon as possible.
What's our next storm shift?
Bullet Train.
Oh, sorry, Bullet Train.
Yes, good. Give me the Bullet Train.
Let's go.
All right, so 1 minute, and then we'll start up the game. God, that was a
Real
crazy
quick, I want to
though.
call out, it looks like Yap had a disconnect mid-game, and they were able to get their third player back on hotspot, but Yap down a little bit on that one.
I feel bad for them on that one. Sadly, that kind of stuff does happen, especially with remote things like this. It's just...
Once we're on land, baby, once we got the first MadMagical land tournament, where we're actually grilling in the yard.
Yes, we will be. And lots of energy drinks, too, because I need those to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, we all live off of your energy, bro. It's so hype out here, and that was just like an insane freaking game. I just like the fact that it ended in a Carbine 1v1, man, after like such an insane final is just beautiful. All right, I'm shipping in here. Let's go.
Cinema.
Exactly, absolute cinema.
Alrighty, but
that was pretty good on your end.
Thank you. But we are in game 6, and we're on my favorite storm ship, the Bullet Train, to finish off the Carbine Cookout, and then we'll have the points added up. Rio already has most of the points added up. I think it has games 1 through 4 already put into the dock. So game 5 obviously is going to be added during this one, and we'll be able to get game 6 and find out who wins the Carbine Cookout. If only we had chili as a prize. That would be like the ultimate way to really round it out.
Dude, a huge bowl of homemade magical chili.
Exactly.
That's what I want. Who needs money?
Just get the chili.
Who needs skins when you got chili?
Exactly. That's what I mean, I'm kind of hungry right now. Though I had a really good dinner. My wife made this, I think I told you, this shrimp pineapple thing that was absolutely to die for. It was so good.
Dude, that sounds amazing. Yeah, that sounds really good.
It had,
all right, baby, so we're loading into game 6 here, Magical. We got the Magical special to close it out. Bullet Train's got the whistle ready.
Always.
Let's go.
Always have the Bullet Train whistle ready. Next, what I need to do once I have some free money that I can spend on things is get a conductor's hat. So that way it's imagine that live
like a legitimate one where you actually spend some money on it.
Yes, where it's a legit one, and so anytime it's the Bullet Train, the hat comes out, the whistle is ready, And we are loading onto the breach game 6.
Here we go.
Our final one of the Carbine Cookout.
Let's go, baby. I'm so hyped for it. I can't keep my mouth shut. We got two-way gold split here. Skyrats and Chaos Steps crossing over the top here. And with the bullet train magical, it's going to be like a lot of times when you see the path right over the middle here, there's going to be a lot of violence in the center of the map, and the circle's just going to continue closing on some part of the tracks here as we see two teams down early in Cold Fang.
Ooh. The Last Door and Nutty. TLD have been struggling in the Carbine Cookout to get these kills, to get better placement. 2 games in a row, they finished pretty low in the standing. So here, as they fight against Nutty over control of the Cold Fang Keep, Lemur has swapped up to Void, playing a new strategy in this final game.
With the Superfly Wizard skin,
yeah,
too.
That's a good one.
Love to see it.
I will say.
Lemur coming out here stylish with the Void pick. I love to see it. As we see Yap winning an early fight against Rel here. But they're going to get opportunity on the trade.
Yap wasn't paying attention. Only Juice gets out of the way and boards the train. We'll be able to get the revive on the team, but...
Yo.
Chaos already.
Juice. Dude, what a start to the bullet train game. We see 3 teams fighting over the track. Someone dies the train. Last player on Yap. Juiced here, able to find the train, get his entire team back. Flo thought they were dead.
Yeah. Flo definitely was in the understanding of how the game was. Ooh, a little bit of lag there, but was in the understanding that they had all died, wasn't really paying attention. We do have 1 kill for the train already. Well, PSA and Nutty fighting out in the desert. Scrub McLord going to be the casualty for Nutty, as the other 2 members are still looting Cold Fang Keep.
Yep, and TLD down here looking to position around this double gold vault. We see the 2 down here. TNN does see him. Very split off from his team, though. So just looking to get intel there. He sees who it is, sees they're already in, backs out. And so going to just gather that intel for his team. Coming back up to Imotech here, we see NBA duking it out against D&D, getting a couple picks here and taking control of this Guardian.
But it was a trade of DJ Montague for 1 player of D&D. Both teams kind of falling back. The only thing is that NBA will be able to get the box revive and then get themselves the Guardian on top of it so they can take themselves the free loot. D&D gonna be far away from that battle, even have to look for a northern revive way up in the Dawn Caps.
Yep, gonna be getting it pretty quick though, so not too far behind tempo here. Got a lot of farm they can pick up on this side of the map as well. Bit of space. We see DEI kind of closest team above frag or in frag Isle here. And we've seen a couple kind of standout games from DEI and a couple where they kind of haven't, you know, been in the picture. And so I would love to see another big game from these guys, because the couple they have made it deeper were some really spicy fights. And the Beebo Shrike is just great with the Carbine. Like, there's not another team out here rocking the Beebo Shrike and not giving up on it either. We saw Protofo trying the Kingpin for a little bit, but
yeah, those games 1 through 3 was on the Kingpin, having a different style. But here in games 4 and 5, went back to Beebo and has had some clutch moments, but alas, not quite enough to keep the team afloat. And we're looking at this game. Did we have a team already eliminated?
It looks like we do. I might have missed that.
Yeah, REL are already gone. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, it was in that train fight right there.
Oh, I didn't realize they got eliminated.
Juice got 2 kills onto REL, and I think the 3rd one went down in that end of that violence.
Tragic. They tried. Hey, at least they gave it their best effort. It was great having you guys. And for the REL players, if you want to play in my birthday event next week, just let me know. I can send you over the Google Doc for that one as well. The more the merrier.
I would love to have you guys. You guys were duking it out of here. Really fun watching you.
Yeah, I love that about players. We've had that before with some of the players that have been new to scrims. I think about players such as Immense and Flo, who have been playing a little bit more. And they started off, 100%. And it was difficult for them at the beginning. They were losing a lot. And slowly but surely, they've been pumping up those skills, doing better and better with each game. Right here, can't really say that's the fact, because Juice is getting chased away. Flo and Big Sweets are already dead for Yap, and they are kind of pushed to the brink.
Yeah, I do love the call out, though, and the point, because all these guys have been training hard, grinding rank, really trying to scale, like you say, getting way more involved into scrims, really trying to, you know, train up on the scrims tempo, the meta, and it's like, ooh, nice grab coming through here.
Improving, surviving for so long. So much had to be committed to try to kill him, and now TNN on the wisp, but overkill rounds will silence that track, and it is an even game for main characters. You know what that means. Goodbye.
That's crazy, bro. It's literally even odds the whole tournament through main characters. So in the end, in the last game, they get taken out pretty early on at 12th, and it's crazy for how well they fought. As we see DEI positioning against D&D here, big stun coming through onto the wall.
Slug wave. Got Crib and DEI are going to be separated. Protofoe and Immense might be able to team up with one another, but it's looking dire as we see still more kills on the kill feed. Skedaddle helping to take down Cat on Kenneth over the Abyss. Leaves only Saucy Hack to survive out in the storm.
Is going to be able to find this res, though, pretty quick here. And so hopefully they'll be able to get back in and recover. We see SVI getting a pick as they play around Frog Jump. Looks like Thank You going to be able to pick that up on the Carbine. I want to check in TLD, who is down in Coldfang, right south here, making their way up. We see Phenom has himself a gold out of the vault. Somewhere, it looks like TLD or Abador maybe lost his along the way getting picked, but they're going to be right to the left of PSA here, Magical. And look at this, Armor Shredder on Palmu's Carbine.
Going to be pretty scary to deal with that, and especially once you get into that zone where you're having these later game fights, this Carbine's really going to start ripping through everybody. But we did see there was another kill here. Height was able to pick that one up, but no more eliminations. Just the two squads, REL and main characters. Our first two out, but we might have more joining them as Madly looks to be chased down and having themselves surrounded. Well, Yap, we're on the train. Might be able to get away, but the bullet train take him out into the storm. It's going to be a spike onto Kenneth. While Cat, we're able to find Madly on the other side. But then PSA, the strength they now have in this game, chase down Cat and try to get them away from one another. But they're on the tracks, and Saucy Hack's got to pay attention to that, as he will take the anomaly to safety.
Yeah, and that was the second time we saw Yap like get away on like a train angle there, and somehow they're way up here. I'm a little turned around by how.
I think it was only one died, and it was just a
okay.
recall.
He recalled. Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, but looking at TLD getting pulled and getting the pick on Abador. Well, DEI do drop out at 11th place. Another team eliminated, but TLD might end up joining them because right now they are on the run. PSA chasing. It's easy for them to keep up with Lemur, but they gotta land the pulls. That's why Lemur just waits it out, goes above them, sees where they are, might even take the anomaly to get into Ion. No, almost went right to Starflash.
Yeah, Lemur just looking to live here. It looks like Phenom called for the early out and is kind of north here, while the rest of PSA chase Lemur. Lemur, you know, working the nice shift up on the terrain angle, giving himself plenty of space. Like, Phenom's egoing this res to the north. Is maybe going to get it through here.
He gets it, yeah.
Wow, well played.
But now they have to fight immediately after the res went through. So Abador, just as soon as he was revived.
Another Carbine kill for Pamu.
Feeding more kills over to PSA, trying to get them to climb up in the standings, while GCR and SVI still fighting in Vein Grove. They've slowly been pushing back and forth. GCR struggled for a minute, but with Madly back on his feet, might be able to have the fight, but not paying attention. Almost hit by the train, but it's still going to be Berserker who actually got the kill. Madly barely avoided it, and Jetski with a dunk onto SVI. 1v3, has the chains landed, diving forward, saying, you're not getting the Deathbox revive, and pushed away. It doesn't matter, Monster's gone. This is Jetski's game. Summon Napalm onto Thank You as an anomaly play. Might get him some distance, but it is Skedaddle hunting down the last kill, looking to eliminate one more team and jumping over the abyss to make sure SBI are eliminated, while TLD on the bullet train to avoid GCR.
This is a crazy sequence. Yeah, GCR playing that really well there. And I really like the look out of Jetski there, playing Brall. I love, it's like the Yasuo mindset. He's just never, we've seen it multiple times there, just never afraid to ship it into 3 members on the Brall and just try to make something happen, and it does make it happen that time. GCR come out on top, take out SVI at 10th, and pretty heated early battles here.
3 teams all grouped around Damage Soul. NBA, Nutty, I believe I even saw that D&D are hanging out in the wings, and Yap too. Send Big Sweet to possibly try to contest this. They've got a Chonkers that sent down towards Nutty but didn't actually land. That's why they can play aggressively with Scrubbic Lord already chasing one side and then Krillo on the other, tagging a bit of damage onto Juice, but not enough for them to feel confident in this chase. They got to get back towards the Soul.
Yeah, and we do got to call out Big Sweet's the only Carbine that's been out here today. Does end up switching to the Brawl here. Have heard he's been grinding on the Brawl, training up on him. Still a fairly new hunter, but looking to put it to use here against Cat.
This'll Breaker didn't land on the members of Cat, but they already have the flank from Juice trying to get some damage onto Kenneth. Wow, Nutty out of nowhere. They split up the fight. Yap. They did not want that because they didn't realize there's another team involved in the equation. Cat they'll benefit from most of it. They got the kills on the Lods, but they still might have to fight up against Nutty up in the north over the bridge, getting a little bit of damage on the Scrubbic Lord and Lord Vader as they heal up. Cat have been waiting, but guess what? Now Nutty didn't realize there was another team that was playing for this one. Lord Vader is going to be the first one. Krillo going up into the north. Scrubbic Lord going down south, but they might have both avoided it because NBA instead focusing their attention onto Cat because they saw level health onto Saucy Hack. Chinese Spy playing aggressively, trying to dive in with the spike grenade, but took a little bit too much damage from Saucy Hack on the other side. But they'll heal back up with the help of DJ Montague.
Crazy battle over this land bridge, little ARAM action happening out here as we see multiple teams collide, multiple third parties coming through. Pretty nice. I think like it was a really nice one from Nutty because they knew Yap was there. They heard the violence, they find it, and like you say, a really good third party onto them coming into the side from NBA right after that. NBA continuing to impress out here, got to be honest. Double quick Soul Stealer evolve, 2 gold armors, double 2-way teleporter on DJ Montague support Eva. So it's like it's looking pretty good out here.
Yeah, so, and to answer for players, there won't be a 7th game. That was voted down by the majority of players. So, just the 6 for today. Olerio is going to be adding up all the points for us, so we'll know how everything shakes out in these games. But I appreciate everyone who has already been eliminated, having played in these games. Helps out a lot, you know, just being able to show off more Supervive for everyone. Really get this game pumped up, excited for the Summer of Supervive. Well, Yap will be taken down by Moonlit Battlegrounds.
Summer of Supervive, baby, let's go. Yeah, Juice caught out there in the bush. Last member left after they were in that third party up here from Nut, and so is going to get taken out there, and they're really nowhere to go.
What?
As we see 8 squads left. What's up?
8 squads left. Look at the circle. It's bullet trains with Kobayashis as a majority of the circle. This was not planned. This is just incidental happening right now.
Yeah, and it's just like any final dude. It's
look at this.
Bro. Final circle, Kovas on tracks. Let's freaking go.
Right? That's why I'm looking at this like, wait, this is actually happening right now. We have our Game 6 Carbine Cookout, where now the teams can go to town and they have to dodge away from bullet trains at the same time.
Yeah, it is going to be a spicy Cobas if it ends up finishing right in there. PSA looking really strong here. Find one on Cat. Huge grab through the wall. Star
But they didn't get the slam. A lot had to be committed to make sure they got the kill onto Saucy Hack. But Cat not feeling powerful enough to battle back and save their teammate. Kenneth is playing for the bush right now, while Lod's also on the other side. And we see another fight up in the north. It's MB against Nutty. Nut might be able to heal back up on a different bit of land, but NBA, keep them at bay and don't let them enter the circle nor town too easily.
Yeah, and like you gotta respect NBA's tempo here. Looks like kill coming through on Lemur with the void. They find an angle, but they're so low. PSA
dashing in, getting damage onto Afios, but he's already inside the pit, and it's gonna be up to Phenom. You need to land the shots now or never with the stun on Afios, but he's gotta dive back, and he's taken down, denied by Pamu.
Just so close there to turning that. If he gets the kill on Afios, he heals. He maybe finds the next 1v1. But in the end, TLD knocked out at 8 here. So after a valiant attempt, they are not going to be able to make it happen. And like it's just like so competitive out here, Magical. Like these teams are getting so good. Everyone's getting so good that it's just literal. All these fights are just inches away from going the other way. A lot of times we saw it right there. So close to being able to do something, but not enough. You got to shout out PSA though, riding this equipment armor advantage with Armor Shredder on Pamu here, looking very strong.
Yeah, Armor Shredder and an Abyssal Scale for Pamu. They've got the boombox behind them with Afios, grappling hook for Starflash as well. A lot of really powerful points for this team. And look at this. The circle keeps dragging us to Kobayashi's.
Let's freaking go. It's beautiful. It's exactly how we drew it up. And we're going to get to see it play out in some Supervive cinema here as we see still 7 squads left. And it's just like going to be so freaking crowded in town here.
Cat missing a player right now. Moonlit Battlegrounds playing for the bush at the moment. And I'm very curious to see how this is. Protobo is asking for playing a dropping heart at Kobayashi's. That'd be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, someone should have teleported the other heart up here over the course of the game, and then we'd have 2. Oh, someone teleported this one out.
Where's way to go. Where'd they take it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's outside of Kobayashi's. That's why D&D couldn't get the revive off. I was wondering why Goth Cowboy wasn't doing anything.
Was it NBA that did that? The double two-way? No,
I don't think it was. I think it had to have been a team like Moonlit Battlegrounds or Nutty. I got rid of it. And now, but the core outside of Kobayashi's, but still Kobayashi's to play for. What a team's going to do? It's a bullet train, so you could push players into that instead. And Lemur with a huge raid as well. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll give you the train whistle, even though there hasn't been another train kill since the very beginning.
Shout out Lemur, dude. One of the absolute goats of Supervive, a legend to watch and learn from. If you haven't checked out Lemur's stream before, just like one of the best Supervive streams you could watch, legitimately, for entertainment, for education. Has such a great community he's built out there. So big shout out to Lemur, and putting on a show for us as always. Not quite the normal TLD performance, but still very GG's for them. See a couple fights so freaking close to going their way, like the last one, but not quite. We loved the Void pickup in the last game. We were taking a look at that, but GG's.
And also, I gotta say, for Lemur, sorry about the scuffed organizing for the tournament. I'm still very new at organizing a lot of these tournaments. I do my best. And for everyone else, don't forget that next week we are going to be doing my birthday event. If you want to sign up, I'll post the Google Doc for that one later. But I'm looking at this as we are getting into the final day. The circle is going to leave. It will get out of Kobayashi's. But there are 7 squads this late into the game, and look at how small that circle is.
Oh my goodness. Yep, and right outside of town here, we see the violence breaking out between GCR and Nutty.
Uh-oh, Mad Lead's now the last one left, trying to dash back in, but wouldn't do it. It's Nutty taking down GCR. But now more teams will start unleashing the hell upon Nutty, trying to get the damage, but Nutty might have survived until Hyde strikes back, and he's got the crown. While they did chase back Pine towards town, Cat are still inside Kobayashi's. The safety's on their side, but they go for the full fight. Cat no longer care anymore about the guards. They're going for the play as they eliminate Moonlit Battlegrounds. Then Nutty, the next one they wish to feast upon. Krillo tries to get back, going both ways, as it's going to be PSA trying to cut off the retreat for Krillo. Krillo now with the crown. Damage dealt upon him, but Cat, they've taken the spot right outside of town.
Yeah, with a freaking beautiful engage coming outside of Cobus there. They wait for the fight to be right as it's ending. All the cooldowns are down. They find an angle on the Moonlit. Then they crush into the side of Nutty and come out with huge gains out of that fight. And we saw them. They've been playing very patiently, just trying to recover. Kenneth's been a moving bush this whole time while Saucy Hack's kind of wandering around looking for res. And really nice fight for them as they're back to full power here.
As we see Krillo pushed back into the rain of arrows and Nutty eliminated on top of it. Plus, guess what, Zik? Gnarled Heart was placed, but it keeps it at the tracks, baby! Let's go!
Let's go! Yeah, so whoever threw that Gnarled Heart down, I missed it. But we love you for keeping it by the tracks, just for Magical and the Carbine Cookout. And so we see 3 teams left. Cat, after that victory up here, just kind of recovering, looking to find new position. We see him with the fire down, warp again, but...
Recall. Ooh, Saucy Hack. Thought he had the timing, and he did, but it was very sketchy. He boarded the train where he didn't want to, but still they are on the tracks, and it is going to get dicey. Moonlit Battlegrounds and PSA, each of them taking their own position around the tracks and waiting for the bullet trains to look for the initial fight.
Everyone's actually so stacked here. NBA a little bit behind on levels, but look, double Soul Stealer, Glider Gas on Chinese Spy, and it's they got 2 gold armors, pretty deep. The powers are a little lacking. And PSA, though, Magical, looking so strong. Okay, look at Boombox, Armor Shredder, Fate Rewinder, Abyssal Scale.
Pole landing as well, dragging Chinese Spy into the fight onto the tracks. As he does get a lot of damage onto the opponents, he still dies. While it is Cat forced to go back, no longer wanting to chase any prey that they saw down south.
Yeah, so NBA now going to have to find a creative way to get a res through here. They don't really have many options.
Not really. But when these poles keep landing from Starflash, now NBA, they have to pick up a crown somewhere. But where are they? There doesn't seem to be any left alone, and it's going to be game over onto the tracks. But he barely gets avoided until the damage from the Arcane Railgun eliminates NBA. PSA versus Cat. The last 2 teams of the Carbine Cookout.
this is going to be a battle here. Both these teams having a standout game and looking insanely strong with their setups as far as the equipment goes. But now Cat, Armor Shredder and Damage Soul on their side. We see a two-way coming out from PSA to threaten position around Gnarled Heart here.
And
in return,
they're sending it. They went for it. The boombox has been placed. They go for the fight, but no damage just yet. Waiting for the train to clack down the tracks as the boombox retreats. No longer can they dance the boogie on the tracks. Instead, they have to try to get away as PSA somehow get out of that alive despite having gone for the full play on the Cat.
Yeah, I love the look there. Just the very aggressive two-way. Like a lot of times teams will throw that out just to threaten the position, but they, kind of like go to the next level. And I think that's what Cat was thinking they were going to do. They just instantly take it right when it's up and almost is able to come through. But like you say, able to somehow get out alive, fully recover, repair up, like still full goals here, despite the shrapnel and damage soul on the side of Cat.
PSA though are going to have to look to get onto Cat's territory again because the Gnarled Heart that was placed, we didn't get to see who that was, but it will favor Cat. They control the innermost parts of the circle and the storm.
Yep. And it's going to be, just want to take a look here at these Carbine builds because it is the Carbine Cookout. We got Tech Booster Swiftblade on the side of Pamu with Armor Shredder has actually been shredding this game. Taking a look at Cat, Lauds, quick Swiftblade with a big Game Hunter. It does have a Biz Specialist, but not going to really have a good angle to use it here.
Again.
Maybe a little bit right here, but yeah, not much with this.
Starflash Fate Rewinder pulling him back in, dragging in the fight on the saucy hack. That's what I've been waiting for from Starflash.
Starflash is having a monster game, just like so many big hooks coming through, especially in this final circle. That's the third hook, and that was off of he two ways through. He hooks and he rewinds.
And they
back.
hop on the train. They just want the game. PSA say to hell with waiting. We want victory now. And Kenneth on an island outside of the circle, and you can already see that Starflash honing on the position. Kenneth tried to feather above them, but the slam down goes a little bit past as Kenneth doesn't realize they can go for the Fate Rewinder. It might be the play with the crown for Kenneth, but the train clacking down the tracks, not picking up the kill. Instead, Kenneth going over the heads and pushed into the storm. PSA win the final game of the Carbine Cookout.
What a beautiful game, final, especially the final three there from PSA. Just the off of the back of these Starflash grabs, and that the first teleport play with the final two there where they instantly ship it through all three members, the full commit, like you say, Magical, unafraid of closing things out of the violence here. And it almost comes through, they fully recover. And then the second time, instead of all shipping it, they just send Starflash. He gets the point blank grab, rewinds back, gets them the pick they need to have tempo against Cat. And in the end, PSA able to pull out the final game. Insane. GG's all the teams. Holy.
What a game and what a day from everybody. We still got to add up the points. I am going to be right back. I'm just going to go grab some more water while we wait for the points to be tallied up. And I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who joined in to play, to cast with me. Zik0rik, you're always amazing. Elluna out there doing some massive work for the admin side of everything, getting everything tallied up for us. Helps out immensely. But also with all the players, really love it too. Just love having everyone here playing these games. And then the viewers, you guys watching it out there, hope that you're finding these really entertaining and really fun because I want to continue to do more in the future.
All right. Absolutely, bro. And huge shout out to MadMagical guys for putting this whole thing together, putting it on. It is not an easy feat to organize one of these things. So, doing a bunch of legwork to, put a forum together, get everyone to sign up, pick a date, pick a time, put all the rules together. And it came out just some beautiful Supervive, just a really fun 6 games to watch. An absolute pleasure on my end getting to spectate all of them with you guys. And I just again, huge shout out to the players. It's so fun. It's been such a pleasure for me because I've just been a huge fan of this game for so long. Getting to watch these players evolve, getting to watch new players come into the scene and start to scale up and threaten some of these longtime players that I've been seeing do insane things for such a long time, and to see the skill level equalizing a little bit and all these players getting so good now that they've had, 6 months to grind this game. It's hard for me to imagine the kind of level of combat we're going to see in like a year, 2 years, 5 years of Supervive when players have had that much time with their hands on the game. It is going to be just some bangers. And so yeah, just got to shout out all the players for continuing to scale, continuing to duke it out, and show up. And yeah, so we appreciate you guys. We appreciate all the viewers, everyone that shows up for the Supervive community. So we're out. The rest of us are just gonna hang out in suspense here. But oh yeah, Jay, if there is a Void tournament, you got to show up for that. Yo, an immense for a Crysta tournament. Yeah, we got to run these matches.
Oh yeah, that, like, the
these
Crysta
guys
for
like
sure.
they see their main in the name of a tournament. They're like, oh yeah.
Crysta one is 100% happening. Just by the way, that one is a for sure. I'm making sure that happens. It just the Void one. It's like 90% confirmed. Like I'm working on that one. So my niece is sitting here telling me to hurry up. So I am going to start showing the points now.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get you hanging out with family.
Because even if NBA, they are missing, but it's okay. If they're missing their points for games 5 and 6.
Is there something I can do where I can see?
I'm going to be putting it on the stream. So we can see it on the stream. And there's no delay. There's no delay anymore on the stream. So it will be live. So once you're ready, I will move us over so we can see drum roll. Our 13th place team is Rel, our Rammus Enjoyers. They were able to get 12 points. They fought valiantly, brave they are coming into a tournament like this, and with 13 squads as well, but sadly, they end up finishing in 13th place with 12th place.
I loved watching Rel.
Huge
shout out to Rel for just showing up off of Reddit, like just looking to get in the competitive scene. Gotta hand it to these guys. And like a really rough start, like not quite sure on the timing, coming in late, had a AFK game 1, so sticking in there, not letting it get to him. Yeah. Love seeing you guys out here. Hope to see you
12th
back.
place, just slightly ahead of Rel, is Yap with 15, and then D&D are at 11th place with 27, and moving up, DEI, 10th place with 40 points. And we have 9th place NBA. It's not their official points, but there's so many points separating them from SVI. I don't think that would be enough for them to go past SVI, so they are in 9th place. And SVI at 75 points. 8th place. TLD, the big surprise here. 7th place, tied technically with SVI in this game. And great showing from SVI, but TLD definitely struggled in this one, while Game Center is at 6th place with 103. Cat, 5th place, 125. 4th place is main characters. Those drops in the early stages of some of those games really hurt them. They got 141 points. Very close.
They basically played 3 games, Magic. It was 3 on, 3 off.
Exactly. And then we have at 3rd place is PSA, slightly ahead of them. 143 points, just 2 points above main characters. 2nd place is Nutty at 147 points. But our winners,
this is so close at the top.
Moonlit Battlegrounds take the series. They take the Carbine Cookout with 167 points. 20 points ahead of 2nd place. Well done to the teams, and well done to everyone out there playing, watching. Zik, you casting, Elluna out there adding up all these points for the teams. Thank you guys so much. Hello, everybody. This is after everything had already finished. The stream ended, and I just wanted to post up the official results that were all added up by Elluna. Again, shout out to them for helping out with this tournament. So you can see there were a couple of shakeups. Actually only one shakeup. It was Moonlit Battlegrounds Academy. After they got their points in, went up to 89 points. Which secures them 7th place. I didn't think they were going to be able to overcome a 30-point deficit, but they're able to pass both SVI and TLD, who are tied at 8th place. So thank you guys, everyone, for joining. Also, just one quick shout out: if you have made it this far, I highly recommend, if you can, check out the Patreon. You can see it right here. Any money that I use from, I can get from this, will be used for first bills, but then second for any tournaments that I'm able to afford afterwards. Hopefully, knock on wood, we'll continue to grow as a community where I can start actually putting more money into this. Love you all. Peace out.